Ooh-ah! Is me today. Bones only day, baby. How's it going? How's it going? How are we today? I'm lurking? Well, hello. I'm not used to being able to move my head. Panda, panda, panda. Oh my god. I forgot to empty the herd. I mean... What's with the model? What do you mean, what's with the model? It's my drawing model. What are we doing? I immediately forgot what I'm doing. Oh, I was gonna... We wanna... Where is everyone? Okay, there it is. Time to get rid of some of these guys here. And do some pulls. Culling the herd. Where the other model that moves? The other model's fine, we can switch to it. But I can't draw with it as well. This is my drawing model for when we draw together. This one's cute? Yeah, I think it's cute. Ushi just finished it. I think she needs to separate my body from my table because my table be wiggling when I talk. Which is a bit of an oversight. But other than that, okay, we've got 3 red pandas. Let's go. Oh my god, it's so tiny on this screen. 3-star. 1-star. And 2-star. It throws me off. Oh, I'm sorry. You will still see my other model. It'll just be when I'm playing games and stuff. Or when Ushi's drawing. This just gives me more freedom of movement. I'm able to wiggle around when I have this model. New model stays. Exactly. I'm not getting rid of it. Ain't no way. No way in heck.
The new model stays, and that's a decree. Really.
Exactly.
I am not asking.
You're not asking, you're demanding. What? You need it? Okay, sorry. Charlie just lurking. Oh, stretching. Stretch lurker. The stretchy lurker. Goddamn ads. Oh yeah, I can see when you guys get ads now. I don't really understand how to see, but I'm looking at all of chat. I like this model. Ursula did a good job. I think so too. So, I'm probably gonna do smart today, because I have not done that in a while. I'm gonna work on comics, and if I run out of yaps to do, maybe we can listen to audiobook together. Whoa! Thank you for the sub. Gifted a sub. Oh, a snuffy sub. Thank you, thank you. Okay. I'm so not used to being able to look down. I feel like my head's very used to the old model. How's music? It feels very loud, but I don't know. We're gonna have to level so much stuff. I think we need an Ushi reading. An Ushi reading, not PNG, but you know? I can hear your voice now. Hello. Hello, hello. I'm glad you can hear my voice. I don't know what we do today. It's probably art. I'm not as comfy as I thought I was gonna be. I just gotta sort myself out. Stuck in ad hell. I'm really good at starting the stream during ads. Hi Space! We're on YouTube. I forgot that I had YouTube chat open as well. I'm just a mess. There we go. I shall be lurking. No problem. And hello, J Swiss. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. I need a new power cable for my iPad because it's fraying. It looks very very impoverished. I'm finally getting back into the secret channel. What's a secret channel? Oh, on Discord, yeah. I've not been yapping so much on Discord as much as I used to. God, it's so weird. I'm so used to using my model, so I'm doing my face movements. I don't even realize that I puppeteer that thing until I'm not supposed to. So I'm assuming I work on Avo today because it's an Avo kind of day. PNG tubers are so freeing. Yeah, I could sit over on the floor or whatever, but I probably won't because if I do plan to listen to audiobooks at some point, I need to be able to use all my who's its and what's it. VitoTube has face tracking though? What? That's crazy. I couldn't figure out how to change my microphone on this, but then I realized I shortly realized that the microphone was actually there was an icon for it, but it was just a white icon, just pure white, and it was on a white screen. So that's why I couldn't find it. I thought it was crazy, but it wasn't. I'm gonna play with it sometime. That's literally what I was looking for, and it has and had to BS in live TVD. Okay. So it's kind of like a hybrid almost. Ugh. What do we do? I've not been doing much art. I've been working all day on audiobooks. That's why audiobooks are on my brain. I've been editing for a friend. Which is exciting and fun. Did I finish this? I think I just finished this. So I have thanky work to do. Give Ushi a big kiss for me. She works so hard. She does. I miss Ushi. She's gonna be back in an hour. She probably will say hi. And then she will go to sleep. Because she's an endless working lady. Works forever. I hope that I can art stream in her stead even a little bit. We could also work on Magpie, but I don't know. The whole reason I got the PNG tuber and thought about reading books is because I can't yap as much when I'm just streaming like this, which I think is kind of the vibe when it comes to art streams. I don't think people yap the entire time. I'm just used to that because I'm a YouTuber, and YouTube tends to be a lot more jangling keys, generally speaking. Yeah, let's color in her little leaf. That's a good start. Please, Bones, I need to know what happens to my son. Starts chanting 9.9.9. Ugh. Yeah, I do need to... The thing is, I've also got DMs from people telling me like they need more Avo, so it's hard. It's hard out here for us people who start 5 million comics. I did leave 9 Point at such a instance, didn't I, though? The problem, I can't even start Magpie though because Ursula gave me the pages, but they weren't complete. But she swears that she completed them, so we need to track down the 8 missing pages. I don't know what shape I'm going for here. Your greatest mistake was starting, like, what, 3 comics at once? Yeah, that is my biggest mistake. 9 Point. Also, my new emote. You have so many good emotes. 8 pages, Slenderman. Exactly. That's exactly what I was going for. I don't even know if it's actually 8 pages. I was just making a Slenderman joke. Oh, I didn't draw Faria in here. But the thing is, like, this scene is like an ethereal dream moment between Juliet and her homosexual desires, you know? So, like, it doesn't really need the same coloring anyways, so I could kind of just leave it. Slender Ursula. Find my comic pages. Ursula is an orb. Slender Ursula would scare me. Orbsula is the true Ursula. The true she. She's at McDonald's right now. Doing hard work. Making burger. She was working all day at schoolwork. So she's endlessly busy. She does have March break coming up, which is pretty exciting. Ugh, 9 Point this fucking Avo that. 9 Point this fucking Avo that. When do we get Bones and Ushi slice of life gay yaoi romantic comedy tragedy comic? Never. I'll never do such thing. I hate writing slice of life. I like thinking about it. I go hee hee, what if my characters were happy, and then I sit down to write it and I don't like it. The problem is I like hurt comfort, and in order to have hurt comfort, I need to write horror. You know? They need to suffer. My current punching bag do be suffering. Bones likes nasty things that don't belong in the normal world. Open commissions. I can't bear to see Ushi stuck in Burgerland. Free her. Her commissions are open. You just gotta talk to her. She doesn't have like a Ko-Fi or whatever set up. Coffee. One day she'll get a job again, and our middle class existence will resume, and it'll be Pog. We've been talking about our middle class dreams. It's in our grasp, you know. The comic I'm planning has a decent slice of life portion before the curtains drop, so I did a ton of research on what's good in slice of life. I started to appreciate them a bit more. I appreciate them, I just don't like writing them. I'm not a very domestic kind of guy. I like to think what if my characters were happy and then make them suffer more? Exactly. Fighting Ushi's comms requires 3 ritual sacrifices, 13 emails. You guys haven't emailed her once. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it's so difficult. I like to go, what if I made my character suffer so badly you question if the happy ending was worth it? Damn, the plot of Avo. I like writing them knowing it's all just a build up to the bad. Yeah, like I like writing some slice of life scenes. She's missing her ear thing in that page there. Ushi's fault, not mine. I don't know how to draw lines like Ushi, so I can't fix it, you know? That's for her. I'm just the colorist. I'm back. Hello, back. I'm Bones. I love slice of life, but it's hard to find one that isn't the type of anime I hate. Yeah. Like, I totally get slice of life. And I like imagining slice of life AUs, but I don't... Yeah. I feel like I'm talking in circles with this, but it's just not something I think about. I think slice of life, yeah, it appeals to me because I'm like, oh, what if they were happy? But they're not, you know? I don't like writing things that have, like, miserable endings generally, though. I tend to be pretty hopeful. I like to think the slice of life happens after my comics. For Evan, so slice of life. Oh god, one day I will write Pretty Mouth 2. That'll be so funny. Like, I have written drafts of it before. It would come after Magpie, because it refers back to a lot of Magpie stuff. Pretty mouthier, exactly. What's it called? It's the Infinite, I think. It's weird that Pretty Mouth then is the only one that's not really named directly after a god, so maybe I should change it. Bye, Bones? Do you hate me? I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't entertain. We could go play Silk Song and, this is a joke, I'm not playing Silk Song today. But we could go play Silk Song and die at the same part over and over again. I can't wait to move on to other games, but I need to finish it, you know? Though, if I get money, I might buy the Breath of the Wild DLC. The Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom DLC, and do another playthrough of those, because I haven't in a while. And that'd be a nice break. No, just bored. Okay. Don't die to Belbeast again? Yeah. Boo! It's terrifying. Why would you do that to me? Titan. Coming out of the shadows and scaring me. Scaring me thus. I need to figure out what my multiply color was set at. Titan jump scare, yeah. Oops. Accidentally merged my color layer to my pencil layer. Oopsie doopsie. I still keep forgetting that I don't have to angle my head correctly. Dog fart incoming. Oh no. Metal caw. That's what happens when you give them cheese. You, me, we. Oh, but what was I I was thinking at the beginning of stream, I need to make a little Ushi. We need to make a little Ushi for audiobook reading, because she's the one who reads it. So we need to make a reactive image. Like Skug of Ushi. We need one of her yapping so that I can set it to the same channel as the book reading. Yeah. We need like a little symbol for her. I was seeing if I could plug her PNG tuber to do it, and I could put a little book in front of her, but it doesn't work because it needs a mic input. I was gonna make a horrific one, but that's effort. Yeah. I was gonna make a stick figure one, but that's also effort. I might just use her static image and just do like a shaded out one. And maybe ask her for a more profesh one. We can have an Ushi bot. Botchi. Ushi bot. Good morning, good morning. I got a fever, so lurking today. No. After all of your long day at work. I hope that went okay at least, Ors. Rip Orzy, for real. It truly lives to suffer. What I'm looking at there. I almost fell asleep, so I was playing New York Times games. What's your favorite one? Are you a Wordle creature? Went too big brain and now I got a fever. Oh. Oh, what's the word of the day? What is the word of the day? Because yesterday it was lucid. What is today? Fallow. Oh, fallow. So inactive or unproductive. Land left to lie idle for a season. The act of plowing land, leaving it unseeded. To leave unseeded. To fallow. Huh. There you go. Today's word is fallow. Fallow is a type of deer, so I'd assume they hang out in fallow fields. Unless there's some other etymology to it. What god did you anger to get so constantly sick, so consistently sick? Or is this overheating? Everyone's suffering. I feel like it's something I cause, because I feel like a common denominator in this. What do you mean my eye pencil's low? I frickin' charged you. Little shit. What do we do? It shouldn't take too long to charge, right? We should make our Ushi. I don't wanna open Adobe Acrobat. Why are you harassing me? X. Pictures. What pictures do we have for Ushis? We have the fat beagle. That doesn't really work for her. Oh, she does have it already. So if we add a reactive image. Reactive image. Then we call it call it Ushi. Okay, so we should have this. In our screenshots. Okay, so it should be this one actually, I think. And then this one when it talks. Okay. We've got Negaverse Ushi here. We need to give her like a book. So let's find a book PNG. That's a good book. Error. Okay. They're all kind of open in the wrong direction because we need it to be facing her. Can we take this one? Where is it? What is happening? What am I looking at right now? Oh. Okay, I'm gonna let this load in. I'm sorry, guys. I'll just hack into Reflector. I mean, you can. It's not that hard. Omegaverse? What? What happened with Omegaverse? Turns out it was way easier than I thought. Negaverse? Oh, not Omegaverse. Negaverse. Like Sailor Moon or whatever. I don't want an account. I just want to steal art. You ever feel that way? What happened? What am I looking at? This site is so broken. I can't even describe that. Just I can't. I wish I could tell you what I'm looking at right now. I'm not gonna show you because I don't like screen recording my browsers. I don't have that power. I'm in an infinite loop. Oh my god. Okay, we need to leave. What the hell? Known art thief. Bones McKay. Free download, please. Oh, there we go. There, now we have a book for Ushi to read. This is the best book I could get her. Maybe I should just give her, like, a book of Avo to read. Just use the cover. Okay. And we have to hook her up to an audio source. So if we click her to... We put her on... Sorry, I hid you guys. I can't even tell if you're talking to me. Okay, cool. GameCube? Why is there a GameCube? Why do we have an audio source called GameCube? What is that? Oh, for when I played Wind Waker for 10 seconds. put Ushi on the music source. Do I have that as a defined source? We want her a media player, I think. What is causing her to light up? She's just flashing. Uchi, stop. Stop. No. I think it's the music. I think she is hooked up to the music. She's on my shoulders? She's not. I think it's the music. She's going whenever the horn section goes. I think it's just the threshold is weird. Okay, we can stop this. Because if she was on my source, she would be... This isn't even organized alphabetically. This is such a mess. Ooh wah, ooh wah, ooh wah. It'd be here. Now it's whenever I'm talking. Yeah. See? This is what it looks like when Ushi flashes when I talk. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. I feel like the blinking Ushi is just too much, honestly. I think we just need... I think we need to just get rid of Ushi. And just do a regular Ushi. And she can still have her book. And she can read us stories. What do you think? Ushi. Ooh wah, ooh wah, ooh. Can we get bedtime Ushi? What bedtime do you want? Like, what do we need for bedtime Ushi? Just moving my canvas around so it doesn't fall asleep. What would bedtime Ushi be? Like a nightcap? I can't have music and muted stream on at the same time for some reason, so you gotta entertain me. I don't know. I'm trying. Trying my best here. Do we get a nightcap? What do we want for bedtime Ushi? Wah, 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 woo, woo. Wah, 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 woo, wah. These just look like Santa Claus hats. Does Santa Claus wear a nightcap? Oh my god, he wears a nightcap. That's what it is, isn't it? That's crunchy ass PNG. That's what a liar. I love the fake transparency some of these have. Get rid of Ushi sounds ominous. We just put her in a wood chipper. It's fine. She loves it. These are just like wizard hats. Oh, this one's cute. Not that one. This one. Give me the cute hat, please. No! I have to sign up. Makes sense. Oh, this cute little hamster. It's probably AI anyways. These are all so cute. Okay, I feel like we're just running off on a different adventure here. I can draw over I can draw over something. What is this song? It's epic. Retreat to my home. Is YouTube your home? Let me check if my iPad is charged. Because if my iPad is charged, then we're Gucci. What do I do to do that? Such a mess. Okay. Almost. We're at like 75%, so I think that's enough for us to like do art again, honestly. Wood chipper is Ursula's favorite activity. Birthday Burger King hat. Okay. Oof, she needs a birthday Burger King hat. I'm back, but I can't hear you. Well, hi. Okay, do you need me to send you an Ushi? I'll send you Ushi. If I remember how to get to Discord. Did Juniverse turn to the Chorb? When did that happen? Here's an Ushi for you. Why won't Discord close? Wasn't I number 2? It's different each stream. How do we see when ads are gonna play? Guys. Where would that be? Yeah, each stream you gotta win. So stream overview. Where? Oh, in 27 minutes. Okay, we're good. We're good. We don't have to worry about nothing. We're far off from an ad. How? Oh, I'm 1? How? Because not many people are yapping. Oh wait, now you're number 2 again. There you go. Didn't ads just pass? I guess so. That would make sense. It's all coming together. It's all coming together, yet this entire stream has felt like a frickin' mess. I only said 2 words. Well, no one's chatting on YouTube. So that would be why. Everyone's over on Twitch. Wait, my Twitch chat's working. I didn't even realize that. I realized it, but I didn't like consciously remember or like recognize it, you know? What hat do you want from me? What hat do you want for Ushi? Guys, what do you want for Ushi? What hats do you want? You guys wanted her in a poll? I don't know, there's not enough of you for a poll. You gotta speak your mind. You guys wanted a Burger King birthday crown for reading? I don't know what that. I thought we were going for cozy sleepies. We need the Quaker Oats guy hat. Sleeping time Ushi. Yeah, I thought we were going for sleepy Ushi. She was like reading us a bedtime story. Okay, I can draw again. I can do that. I can do somewhat entertaining. How to model our hats up there? It doesn't really matter. Oh, hi, Beagle. My eagle. So many beagles. Heya, heya. How are you doing? We're chilling and doing art. Gonna do our bedtime stories soon. Anyway, is Bond's just doing splendid? I wouldn't say I'm splendid, but I'm pretty good. I've recovered from the panic of wife getting medical news that was very normal and not that exciting. What would a group of beagles be called? A barge. A barge of beagles. I hate how it loses track of like where I am, because I also lose track of where I am in the coloring, especially with like the small details. We've done that one. Okay, it's past. Oh no, I might have crashed the program. This one, there we go. It's hard when you're working on a bunch of projects at the same time. Oh, hello, Cowberry. Don't crash your program. It just happens. I don't know. It's good we got the pink cow rep because Ushi is not here. She's at work. We have her in spirit. We're gonna be listening to an audiobook that she narrated. So it'll be like she's here, but she won't be able to talk back to you guys. We just lose track. Say, just do all the details at once. It's hard with comics, man. There's so many pages. Ushi's mostly a Tuesday and Friday stream kind of girl. So tomorrow she'll be here. Today it is just me. Anyways, I'm gonna return to the Endless Abyss. Don't forget, don't get lost in the crypts. But you're the one in the abyss. I don't think I need to be warned. Sorry, I was talking to YouTube chat. They hide. They hide away from us. Tomorrow. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because the book she read is this one, because I'm turning it into a comic version. So she did the audiobook version of it. And I've been meaning to re-listen to it. And then we can have entertainments while I focus. I'm still not used to having a PNG tuber. I keep angling my face and trying to like keep my eyes from drifting down because I'm used to like the VTube model for when I game. But I got a PNG tuber just for doing arts. Who has the most channel points? God. Okay, so that's all that. I think all the eye whites are just straight white, right? Yeah, 100% white. Okay. So it doesn't really matter which character we apply them to. I can just have an eye layer. I think that's usually what I do. Oh no. I just noticed the hairline. Fix it later. When the fill leaves like that little line.
Straight white. That's not as common anymore. Really.
Don't. We're woke here, okay? I must have the music randomized, but we are just getting endless Octopath. I guess most of my playlist is Octopath. Is her eye still open? Kissy dragons. Would anyone kiss a dragon? Any dragon smoochers in chat? I'm learning Adobe Illustrate. That's fun. It's a bit of a learning curve if you've never done vector, but otherwise it's pretty straightforward. Just a chicken smoocher. Ah. I would. I'd probably smooch a dragon. I'd be scared. Never used an editing program to begin with? Well, Adobe Illustrate's not an editing program, is it? Or Adobe Illustrate? What? Is that... I'm assuming you mean Illustrator. Unless Illustrate's some other program. Adobe has like a million programs I don't even know about. Scent. Let's see what we got. Okay, we gotta destroy this Ushi. Yet another Ushi bites the dust. Here we go, perfect. Okay. Oops. You guys ready for a new Ushi? Courtesy of Beagle Tails. There we go. Perfect, cozy Ushi to read us stories. There we go. Love the flipped book. I gave her glasses because she's blind as hell. That's so true. I have her glasses right now, so obviously she's at work, blind as hell. This is why she gets the burger orders wrong. Chicken, I got you. Let's get a chicken up in here. 1 star. It's a little toasty looking chicken. looks like a nugget already. I feel like we're due for a silly song. Nope, we are not. It's a little silly, but not what I would describe as silly, you know? Back to lurking. It's called Intro to Graphic Design. What is? Illustrator? Illustrator would be graphic design, yes. And InDesign. Ushi does so much on Illustrator and InDesign. I used to do a lot in Illustrator. I did a lot in CorelDRAW because I was on what do you call it? I was an embroiderer, so I would do embroidery files, and that was all in CorelDRAW for some reason. Me when my stream friends show up to support Hunk. Shut up. I'm old. It's true. So far it's tedious. It can be. The thing with vectors, it's very clean, right? It's math. Bones, are you ever gonna do a face reveal? No, I did the reverse. I did a reverse face reveal where I have concealed my face. I've moved on. I've moved on from being a human. It's boring and gay. Well, you know what? It's boring and straight. I'm into my new life where I am a deer and I'm gay and I just have a great time. I'm looking at his face right now. Skill issue on chat. That's true. Ugh, I brought all these water bottles. I didn't drink from any of them. I don't know why people want my face. I bet her teeth are also white. So it looks like her mouth is kind of open. I guess if we just color it in. Perfect. Where was this page? There. Okay. There's too many pages. Oops. Oops. So this one we merged down. I know this place like the back of my non-corporeal hand. I don't know how to spell. Yeah, because you wrote the with a G. Corporeal. How would you say corporeal? Spell that. It's what you call novelty. Like, oh, so he does look like a twink. I don't really look like a twink. I don't want to disappoint you guys. I'm tiny. I'm a tiny little squat bearded man. If you get a face reveal, it'll be when I have a fursuit. Oh, you can't pet this deer. I don't know if there's a way to make that a possibility. Corporeal. I know. You can't pet me, you can't throw stuff at my head. You still can TTS for some reason. I like our emotional support Ushi right now. Okay, so we're looking for a page where she's gasping. This one. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Why are you saying dang? There's a reason that got deleted. That's crazy. Wait. For some reason, my brain was not comprehending that I also had to color in Juliet here. There's a reason why my chatters get banned in other chats, is what I've learned. You got some of you guys are in hit. Some of you sweethearts, and I don't think you actually are banned. Others of you, I don't know what you're doing. Some of you guys are not giving me the best impression, you know? I'm banned in 50 chats, yeah. I banned Beagle Chills just to prove you right, thank you. Those who know me know I just keep people around for the drama sometimes, though. Just to feel something. Bold words for guy not holding a hammer right now. Ors? I'm not talking about you, Ors. I'm talking about the person yesterday who was bragging about being banned in other artists' chats. And I went, tell me more about why you were banned. I've only been banned from Twitch channel because they thought I was a minor. I see you, Bones. In for the drama. Yeah. Well, back in the day, there was a chatter that people kept telling me to ban, but I just couldn't. I didn't have the heart to do it, you know? I didn't have the heart. I couldn't say goodbye to my terribly behaved creature. I always miss the drama, damn it. I was banned from another Snuffy's chat. When someone brags about being banned, it's like, thanks for this self-selecting your way out of the chat too. Yeah, I get curious. Though usually when they're saying that to me, I know exactly why they got banned. It's because they're really annoying. It was cause it's I've had a few that were really annoying, like preteens that hung out in my chat back in the day, and they have since come back to me and apologized. So I do appreciate that. They're like, listen, I was young and I was really stupid and I'm sorry for what I did. And I'm like, Thank you for the apology. Also, they're trans. They're usually trans. I trans them all. Every Bone streaming era is defined by one annoying preteen. Yeah. Beagle Tails. No, he was a teen. Not my first era. My first era of streaming was not... I was the annoying teen. I think I was the annoying teen in my first streaming era. Back when I streamed pre-T, all those streams are like lost to time. Like I have access to them, but y'all don't. You showed me? That's true, I did show you. Back when I streamed, I always felt bad banning people. Oh no, Shorts chat has changed me, very, very much so. Some sacrifices are necessary. Exactly. You can't keep them all around. Shorts get fucking awful on live? Yes, they do. It's crazy. It's because it's just people who didn't even click on the stream. They just show up. They just stumble onto things. The chicken. 2-star. That's an improvement. I feel like it's been nothing but intense Zelda music. No! 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 I keep hitting accidentally double tapping with my finger and deleting my progress. I hate gestures. Oh my god, 10 chickens? Okay. Let's go. Okay. Bulk chickens, let's go. 10 times. 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, 4 star, 1 star, 2 star, 1 star, 2 star, 4 star. Damn. That was crazy. That was like 1 really good pull and like 9 terrible pulls. What's the difference between all-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive? Huh. Maybe the car has more wheels. I'm not a car guy, so I'm not even gonna attempt to explain. My car go vroom, and that's all that matters. Okay, did that one. All trucks it showed also, it just had 4 though. What's the difference? Are you the type of person, is anyone else the type of person where they hear something like that and they have the question in their head and so they look up the answer? Because I struggle to not look up the answer to things like that if I'm able to. I guess my phone is free. I just don't like Googling stuff on stream. Because I don't really have a designated stream computer. Sometimes. I just like to know new things. I have an insatiable thirst for knowledge. Bum, 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 bum. I know people who are not like that, and they confuse me. Because they'll have burning questions, and they won't even look up an answer. They'll just like be like, well, I guess we'll never know. And I can't do that. I can't be that guy. Red Panda. Damn, we are going for the polls today. Yeah, what do we get? 1 star. The best we got is a 4-star from Chorley. I don't know. Should I do their teeth at the same time? I probably should, honestly, but... so much tedious work. Oh, comics be tedious. I have a bunch of tedious corrections that need done for some other things. I really want to get into writing again, because oh, what's the deal? I'm editing the audiobook for my friend, and I'm just like, oh man, I want to write a book. But now I'm realizing, like, I'm not gonna have a lot of time to do that for a while. Once when he's not writing. Exactly. The ADHD is so strong in me. And if we sit down and read, if we let the Ushi read us a story, then I'll want to write even more. I'll be real, I keep setting up the stream where I'm gonna be like, when I'm gonna listen to the audiobook, but then I get scared because I'm like, oh god. Just like sharing anything. I'm like, it would be a good thing to listen to so that I don't have to keep my yapper going. I do have to figure out the audio on it. It shouldn't be too bad because I think it'll take from the same source as the music, so I just gotta organize them accordingly. I wish there was a way to like display the words on screen. Though I'd have to... It wouldn't line up, actually, because it's an actual audiobook and not a text-to-speech situation. Damn, she's pretty in this panel. Maybe a caption generator? It wouldn't be perfect, but... Yeah, maybe. I've never looked into caption generators. We should get a little caption generator and put a little speech bubble above Ushi. And we can put the captions in there. That'd be very silly. Is that a new VTuber avatar? It's my ping tuber. For when I draw. So I don't have to puppet a mech while I draw. Sorry, I'm crashing around. I was like, oh god, Charlie exploded. I had to check on whether or not he was alive. Ushi should be home soon. We get a cameo from real Ushi soon. I should look at my tracker and see where she is. Yeah, that's right. I track my wife. What the hell? Wife. Our wolf. Silly joke number 2. I track her, she tracks me. She has a tracker on her car, so if she ever gets, like, stranded, she can be found. And I also do the... We have our phones in the same cloud or whatever. So we know where we are. Bones caught stranded in a grocery store. Yeah, exactly. Not much to track on you, Bones. Sometimes I do vanish. To be fair, I do wander off into the woods, as a deer is known to do. And I usually have my phone on me because I like to listen to tunes. I forgot you're a deer? Yeah, how could you forget? Look at me. I'm more likely to get lost than I do. Yeah, exactly. Stranded. Could be a moose. A moose is a deer. A moose is a type of deer. I like to only be lost in life / spiritually. I like to be lost in thought. Ah, I dropped my iPad. But it's okay. Everything was fine. I like to daydream. Daydreaming's fun. What is that? What does that mean? Oh, I didn't keep their eye colors. We're gonna need to figure out what their eye colors are. Every time I daydream, I end up having the falling feeling. Grabs you? Oh, I thought that's what it was. It kind of looked like I had those hands. That I was doing the grabbing, rather than being grabbed. It looks like I'm coming for you. Okay, I need to go to the washroom. I'll be back, then we'll listen to book, okay? I'll figure out eye colors or something. I don't know what I'll do. I gotta do some focused work. So I may work on 9 Point and listen to audiobook as promised. I'll be right back though. I promise, I promise. I would never lie to you. Hello, I'm back. This sounds like Ooblets. This song? Or something before. So I looked up where Ushi is. She's gonna be back in like 10 minutes. We're 10 minutes away from Ushi. But we can get our Ushi bedtime stories. Anyone ready for Ushi bedtime stories? Slash me giving director's commentary. Because there's no way I'm not gonna yap, guys. Why am I not keeping my iPad plugged in? What's the strat there? I'll provide coughs, thank you. Bow, 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 bow. If anything, this is for Oars, so that it can learn more about its husband Lul. they deserve. So how do I set this up? So I wanted to play through media player, so it's gonna yell at us. Ooh, she's gonna start yelling immediately, probably. Ah! She's talking about the silence of death already. Where is that? Do you guys even hear that? I deserve because I have a fever? Nope. Okay, so it's not coming through. Okay. So it means it is in its own section. Good to know. Hear what? Okay. No one heard Ushi say the silence of death. Where are my seams? Sources. Oh, my sources just got moved. Okay. So we need application capture. Audiobook. And we need it to capture from media player. Okay. Don't forget to turn your music down. Yeah, I'll remember. Why is it not working? Oh, I didn't add the executable. Okay, let's try this one more time. It should work.
Ancient library.
Ancient library, yeah?
The silence of death hurt his ears. The floors of the ancient
How's that? Is she yapping loud? She's loud as hell. She's as loud as me, right? Think so? Okay, turn that down. Just turn her down a smidge as well. See how it goes.
library were bathed in blood. Bodies adorned the hallways.
How's that? I need to listen more?
Torn
Okay.
apart, mangled as if grabbed by some feral creature. The anger was palpable. In every last claw mark and cut, Lul could feel the rage.
Lul.
While Italo was efficient, their deaths were not.
I should.
Their
It's kind of
last
digital
moments.
sounding? What does that mean? I need to listen. Oh wait, that makes sense. I couldn't hear it. Digital sounding. Curious. It's a weird digital ring to it. Intriguing.
The silence of death hurt his ears. The floors of the ancient library were bathed in blood. Bodies adorned the hallways, torn apart, mangled as if grabbed by some feral creature. The anger was palpable. In every last claw mark and cut, Lul could feel the rage.
Ugh. I need to grab my phone, I think. Might be a slight roughness in her voice, actually. My bad. Okay. Okay. It's more monotone than Ushi? Yeah, she do be less Ushi mode. Alright. But is the volume good? Is it a good volume for us to be listening to? Yeah. Okay. So I can't remember. So probably. Okay. We'll just go for it. You guys let me know.
The silence of death hurt his ears. The floors of the ancient library were bathed in blood. Bodies adorned the hallways, torn apart, mangled as if grabbed by some feral creature. The anger was palpable. In every last claw mark and cut, Lul could feel the rage. While Italo was efficient, their deaths were not. Their last moments were ones of agony. Their blood had drained as they looked upon him, the god of shadows. Okay,
starting with a opening like this was great until I had to post on Webtoon and I immediately got banned. I got my comic banned immediately. It was just so bloody. It was such a mess. And I'd been thinking of like, oh man, should I tone things down for Webtoon? Should I not show boobies? But now I'm not sure. Now I regret not just showing boobies and blood because I'm not really posting on Webtoon much anymore. I don't get much traction there anyways. But yeah, starting with a big murder scene is is not a great way to post your comic on Webtoon. Fuck Webtoon, just ball. Yeah, maybe we should just go titties out. Anyways, I knew I had a lot to yap
pressed
about.
His hand to the archway. The fetid flesh made it difficult to stand. While not unfamiliar with a corpse, the quantity was difficult to handle. The smell was an assault on the senses, immortal bodies rotting away with the same dignity afforded to rats. As he stepped forward, he was met with an echo, but as he stilled, the sounds continued forward. The library's sole survivor stepped into view. He was stooped over, leaning his weight on a gnarled cane. He kept his distance, heavy gray eyebrows furrowing as he adjusted his glasses. Lul had seen his face 1,000 times before. The god of time, Viren, their greatest foe, a weak old man. "What brings you back?" the god asked, a voice like rustles of dry paper. Lul watched the tableau silently, the stillness of death at their feet. Finding words to fit the scene was impossible. He returned his gaze to the god, waiting for him to accept his silence as an answer. "There has to be a reason," Viren pressed. "To admire Italo's work? To bask in the accomplishment of you and your kin?" Lul shook his head. There was tension through his body, grasping and nodding from within. "Lenora. He killed her.
The thing with Ushi, if she did bring this up to me, she has one man voice that she uses for everyone. She said she was struggling to make all the voices different. So Lul has the same. She's just like the fact that her voice can be less high pitched than it is impressive for her, but she hasn't got range in that department, you know. She might Ushi.
See, the god regarded quietly.
Sorry.
What do I do?
I stopped in the middle of a
with
sentence.
her? I
Actually,
see.
wait. Ushi's home. Ushi's home. Ushi can defend herself. I'm sorry, my art went away for a bit there. I was just, finding the eye color. Ushi? No, she's not inside yet. Our wife is home. Yeah, it was crazy getting banned immediately. Like, cause I've never even gotten banned before. Well, I did eventually for Magpie. Do you guys hear Fado? He's losing his mind because Mom's home. His mom. Ugh, it got rid of the whites of her eye there. So rude. Just like me for real. Everyone's freaking out because Ushi's here. I have half a headphone on so I can hear her. Oh my god, eat mom. The momming. Ushi! I don't think she hears me. Hello? I'm gonna go say hi to her. Hello? I'm streaming. Oh god. Oh my god. We were just listening to the audiobook you recorded. Ew. Ew, she says. That's my neck. Then I can draw and I don't have to talk. Yeah, I'm currently streaming. I've been streaming. Yeah, we've been. If you can talk into that mic, it should be on.
Hi, chat.
Oh wait, it's not on? Oh, okay.
Hi, chat. How are you?
It's always. Yeah, your glasses are right here, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
My silly wife. Our silly wife. I get it. I get it. They didn't recognize your voice because you're so monotone. I was saying you only have one male voice that you do, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you're just one guy.
I have one man voice. And that's it.
My wife is only one man.
I'm just one man.
Do you need to stay up a little bit and like make yourself food and stuff? Or are you going straight to bed?
I gotta clean the litter box
Yeah.
while I make some food.
I love the Juliet voice the most. Yeah, she got lots of lady voices. One man voice though.
Yeah.
We haven't even read the prologue so far.
Oh.
Because I keep interrupting it.
How dare you interrupt my narration? My beautiful narration.
You're beautiful, but yeah, I need a little Ushi yapping. I need your mouth to flap. I need to make you a reactive image like Skug.
Yeah.
And then you can yap along to the audiobook.
Yeah, You should just make it local.
Yeah. I don't know how to do that though.
Should I always like
Yeah, the exploding Ushi was imminent. Oh, goodbye, Serena.
That's when the gas builds up.
Oh, Malty's there too? Oh my god, so many kitties. Did the music stop? No, you guys are hearing things. I just no longer hear anything. Oh, it did stop. Okay. I just came in at the wrong time. Hi again. I'm back now. Okay. I'll rewind and we can listen to double Ushis.
Nora. He killed her. I see. The god regarded quietly. What do I do without her? That is a question, isn't it? Viren stepped forward. He moved with the ancient grace of time. Across the dried blood, through the maze of his fallen friends, he spoke to the halls. What do we do without? 3
Damn.
centuries
Oh yeah.
later.
Okay, it's just the 3 centuries later bit. Hey. Oh my god, chapter 1 is 20 minutes. I guess that makes sense. I've been editing an audiobook and that is a very similar length. Okay, I will listen. I'm really focused.
Chapter 1. Juliet's adult life was one long, awkward date. The suitor du jour was Dawn Danes, a desperate choice on her mother's part. Not even a month ago, she could recall her mother eviscerating the man's character, traipsing about town in that audacious burgundy suit, a rum runner no doubt. But now it was all good family, great hair, merging assets, blah blah blah. They were 2 plates into a 5-course experience. Dawn was yet to discuss anything other than himself. Every word from his mouth was about college, as if Juliet hadn't attended the same institution. The least he could do was talk about his current affairs, possibly hint at a murder or something. Anything. She nodded along a spell longer as the waiter took off with her plate. It was looking like the worst-case scenario. Many men would give up if she said nothing on a date, but others just needed something pretty to bounce their voice off of. Her eyeline trailed from her table to the next. The clientele of this particular restaurant typically skewed older, but a premier across the street was drawing in livelier sorts. Across from them was a wider table. There were at least 5 women in the group, the counting of them all made difficult by an excess of glitter, smoke, and bouncing headdresses. At the center of it all was a man, a long scar cut along one half of his face. At his ear was the most striking of the ladies. She was dressed entirely in black, her dress tight and unaware that embracing curves wasn't in fashion. There was a dragon
babe.
spirit to her, bust causing pressure on her dress's neckline. But like Juliet, she didn't seem happy to be here. She blew a lungful of smoke on the man before turning sharp on her heel. I really can go on forever.
I was surprised how many people like Nikki so much. She's a babe, I get it, but I was surprised, I'll be real, when all the commenters were like, step on me, mommy, you know, like I wasn't ready for that. I don't think anyone said that specifically, but that was the vibe I was getting. I'm just not into Nikki specifically. Anyways.
Dawn started laughing. Good old days and whatnot. What about you, Dolly? Your mother said you started a degree?
Sure,
Where
sure.
at? She shrugged, taking up her glass of sparkling water. Do you think that man's ever killed someone? She motioned to the table behind Dawn.
I forgot
Her
the
date
Juliet
craned his
voice.
As he looked through the glamorous company, he froze. The next moment, he scrambled, readjusting in his seat so he was turned entirely away. "Oh, good goddess," he muttered. "What, am I right?" As Dawn sank in his spot, Juliet stretched her neck for better viewing. To quote her mother, Juliet was the type of girl who'd be best known for her missing persons picture. With a pretty nose that was always in someone's business, she was bound to make the morning paper. "Jules, don't," Dawn hissed. "If you tell me something interesting, I'll stop gawking." Dawn's brows knitted, face looking queasy. "That's Whiteheart. Not someone you want to mess with.
No, mess
Let's
with
leave
him.
it at that."
I love him.
"I'm taking that as he has killed people." Her date grimaced. "Looking to party with a murderer or something?" She shrugged. "When my mother said we'd be on a date, I at least assumed I'd see my first speakeasy. Word on the street is you're into that sort of thing." "I didn't think you'd be the type to—" "I'm not," Juliet cut him short. "But if I'm stuck on a date, I may as well be somewhere interesting." Dawn raised a brow. "Stuck on a date?" "Look, it's not you, but I've never been on a date I enjoyed." Her gaze drifted to the girls at the next table. They were hanging off every word of that Whiteheart, giggling and bouncing. She couldn't fathom the sort of fun they were having. "It's probably the type mother sends my way," she huffed, managing to pull her eyes from the scene. "The men, yourself included, don't jive with my ideas for myself." "And who would jive?" She shrugged. "I'm not sure. I want to keep up my business, you know? I don't want to be a goose on a nest while my gander's off gandering.
She's so
The only
gay.
goose I'd gander is the one I got back home." "Donnie," she scolded, "I'm not a goose. That's the point of this. If I was to ever settle on a man, he'd be the goose." "I mean, fine and dandy, but given the circumstances—" "What circumstances?" "That you don't exactly got a business." Juliet scowled. "I beg your pardon? I manage the apartments that Father is renting out. It's not exactly an empire, but it's an honest start." Dawn grit his teeth, inhaling sharply through the gaps. "Not knocking it, but I might have heard some things." "Like what?" "That your mother and father are, they're pulling the plug on that." "Pulling the... what?" "Listen, I wasn't supposed to tell you this, but your father is kicking you out of the apartment on King. The building you're managing on Lenora is getting knocked in shortly after you move back to the estate." Juliet couldn't find it in her to shut her mouth. She felt dizzy, the waitstaff swirling by her to set down the main course.
Hi, Sandy. We're listening to audiobook. We got Ushi telling us bedtime stories. But hey, saying hi. I'm here.
Course. "They can't just do that. Why? Did they tell you?" "Look, you know a few things about me. I know a few things about you. But from what I've gleaned, there was an issue involving a date, an ear, and a sprout."
Sprout.
Her eyes widened, soul rising up out of her
From
body.
9 Point.
"My mother knows about the incident?" "Yes." "Oh, good goddess of Earth, how? What does she know?" "About as much as I do, which isn't a lot. What happened? I figure it's a bit of an over-exaggeration. You look fine to me." He stretched his neck slightly, as if trying to get a better peek at her ears. She fidgeted under the inspection, pulling her locks over them as she thought. Where could she start?
I love the nightcap. I think the nightcap is such a good touch. It's so cozy. I'm having a good time. I hope everyone else is having a good time. I'm ready for my bedtime stories, getting lots of art done. I'll probably be able to focus on 9 Point if I do this.
The incident with her last date was a culmination of many things. It all began 3 years earlier, when she convinced her father into buying that property in the capital, the old apartment on Lenora Road, something cheap to start with. She'd interviewed a dozen hopeful tenants before she met her. Miss Deadwood was exactly the wrong type of person. She came to her interview dressed like a third-rate rum runner in a poorly fitted suit. She had no references, and even less to say for herself. Hypnotic images passed through her irises. Blackened feathers, death's veil, the decay of the forest. Then why did Juliet say yes? Surprisingly, it came back to ears. Pointed ears. Jules? Dawn prodded her from her thoughts. All right. How much do you know about the apartment on Lenora? Dawn shrugged. I stopped by to see if I could get to the root of the issue, and boy, did I get to the roots. Tons of roots. The building's a complete waste of time, like something dragged it out of the forest. Complete money pit. I can see why your father wants it gone. Juliet felt a heat of anger. It was lovely when I got it. A little run down,
Oh.
but I put...
The dog chorus. The yapper. He likes to yell at Serena. I don't know what this is. That's Serena. Oh, woo. Oh my god. What is happening? Yeah, exactly.
Good night, Ushi. Good night.
Good night, chat. Sweet dreams.
Woo, 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 woo.
Sleep good, sleep good.
We love you. We all love you, Uchi.
Good night, Madoka. Good night, Madoka. Good night, Fatal.
Alright. we still have Robo Ushi to speak with us, though. Good night, Boner? No, I'm staying. I'm still here. Ushi's going to bed. Real Ushi. Not Robo Ushi. I'm still here. Sorry. We were saying goodnight to all the dogs because they're all going to bed with Ushi right now. I'm still here. I'm gonna get a lot of work done. I almost hit stop streaming though, so. Alright, let's do this thing. Well, Juliet and Dawn are yapping.
So much work into making it gleam. Once I have a
Got
talk
so
with my father,
startled by
I'm
Ushi
sure I'll
talking.
spruce it up again. Pretty sure it's got a spruce. Big one, too. Right down the middle of it. Juliet huffed. Not looking for your opinions on the matter. What about questions? Like, if it didn't look like that before, what happened? Incident or building? Juliet took up her knife and fork, slicing into her cut of venison. Both. Juliet considered it as she cut into the seared meat.
No.
She'd been crawling in the ceiling when it
Not me.
happened. The years passed, and the roots had taken hold of the building, crumbling its foundation, becoming it. At the same time, intrigue dug its thorny barbs in Juliet, permeating deep, right down to her dreams. Awake or sleeping, she found herself at the building, prying for information. But the mental thorns weren't the only worry. She often found seeds with hooked ends, fluffs for floating away, and other means of transportation. Often they came home with her in the folds of her dress. She spent long nights pulling them out, and had thought little of it, too excited by what she'd overheard from her tenant. The incident was during a date with a forgettable fella, she began. I'd been spending time cleaning the lower units, and leading up to the date, I've been suffering an awful infection. I'm trying to nurse it on my own, because I know if I admit defeat, my mother is going to hear about it. I digress. The point is, I couldn't hear out of my ear for at least a week. And when it comes to the date, I'm thankful for the deafness, because this fella is prattling on and on and on. And I have the clever idea of
Hi,
offering
Serena.
up my bad ear for listening. He stops talking. At this point, he's not stopped talking the entire meal. I'm a bit flummoxed. He's staring at me. I go to fidget with my hair, and that's when I touch the leaf. Juliet
The
uncovered her
leaf.
ear for Dawn, revealing its inner workings. She could still feel the pressure inside it. Whenever she powdered her face, she trimmed it all back. Dawn leaned forward, slack-jawed. "And you haven't had it looked at?" She shook her head. "Don't get me wrong. I'm not without nightmares over it. I don't know what a doctor will do about it either." She leaned in close, whispering the rest of her sentence.
Maybe. I don't know
I
who
think
I'll
it's
raid.
magic.
Magic. She nodded. "Same with the building, Donnie. There's nothing else it could be. You wouldn't believe it, but my tenant, she's an elf." Dawn paused. "Elf?" "Yes." "Dolly, elves haven't walked the earth in centuries." "You think I'm stupid? I know that. But who do you think did all this?" A smile tugged at her mouth. "Ever since she moved in, you wouldn't believe what I've accidentally caught on the phone line. She's the last elf in the world." Juliet's heart fluttered just thinking about it, but a knot formed equally fast in her stomach. I didn't think they could do magic either, but here we are. "I'd have to check on that." Dawn met her grin. "So, you're into immortals and murder, huh?" She shrugged. "I don't know if it's what I look for in a date, but it's a more interesting topic compared to college." "Not to brag, but I know plenty of immortals," Dawn boasted. "If you're looking for something to do after dinner, I know a happening spot. Maybe one of them will know enough about your ear issue." "I'd have to think on it," Juliet shrugged. Nothing ruined excitement for a topic quite like a man boasting of his accomplishments with said topic. "I know deep down you're
God.
worried
Serena,
sick
what
about
are you
that
doing?
sprout. I can see it. I know a spirit, a dragon, a couple of exiled angels. If I'm not interested in dating an immortal, why would I be interested in someone that mulls about near them? I can handle myself." "Oh, come on. What are you looking for in a fella?" "I told you. A goose to my gander." She pressed her fingertips to the table. "Nothing in the world terrifies me more than playing second fiddle to some Mr. Business. I'm the only heir my parents have to speak of. That's why Mother is so keen on setting me up. But I don't want to be the dead end of the family tree, nor do I want to pump out a baby for whoever Mother deems worthy." "Then what do you want?"
Something.
Goose to my gander.
Anything.
I'd take a
Oh my
plant in
God.
my ear over
My
marriage
dog's
any
crazy
day.
right now.
Dawn leaned back in his spot.
Stop.
"If you say so. I'd personally put my safety before any of that."
Am I talking to my mother?
"Hey, don't take it out on me." He raised his arms defensively. "You're going about it in a dangerous way. If you want an in with immortals, so be it. But what have you done so far? Ruin a building and wreck your ear?" She narrowed her eyes, staring
Juliet,
past
I
his
can be your
untouched meal.
babe.
"Maybe that thing's gone and rooted in your brain.
At least I have a brain.
At least I have an apartment."
What?
Dawn shrugged. "Your mother's plan was to surprise you, but the movers are packing your apartment as we speak."
They're what?
She's an
She
easy
stood from her
catch.
seat.
Running distraction for their plans? You dirty little louse.
"It's happening one way or another. I'm not any part of it, okay?" He tucked in, beginning at his meat. "I'm here to expand your options.
Step
You
one,
could
don't
move
be a
back to your
man.
state, or, well, like I said,
Exactly.
I've
Just
got
don't be a
friends I'm
man
meeting
and
with tonight." She threw her napkin onto the plate.
I'm not interested in any of these friends of yours. And I'm not moving anywhere.
there's
The
more to-
master's room
Oh.
was empty. The curtains were drawn closed, the
You
hearth
win.
extinguished. The only
course, I
light
forgot
of the
about
room
Aaron.
came from Aaron. However dull, his skin glowed, providing enough light for him to avoid stumbling into furniture. Well, in theory. Aaron bumped into a lounge chair on his way to the master's desk. He muttered to himself as he recovered. The sound likely didn't carry. After all, the manor was immense.
Let's Gay Fuck
The
starts
master was
playing
still
and
away
Aaron's
on an
seen
outing
why.
while a party began on the lower floors. With little effort, Aaron could hear the band carrying up through the floorboards. And even if he were to be caught, it wasn't as though his duties never brought him to the master's private quarters. Aaron stopped at the master's
Will
desk.
just has that playing
It
in
was
his
turned to the
office.
fireplace, an immense furnishing of whitewashed oak. Across its surface were a handful of letters and notebooks. The master had given up on his typewriter, replacing it with a color photograph of himself. He found it far more technologically impressive and worth the space. On the opposite side were the scuffs, where he liked to rest his feet. A shiver pulsed through Aaron as he reached for the letters. If he were doing so to organize them, he wouldn't have thought twice. However, knowing his own intentions solidified the fear in his gut. He searched through the envelopes for any new discoveries about his master. Most were already opened, the same euphemistic discussions on liquor trafficking, invites to the hottest parties, and then the humdrum of advertisements. Aaron froze when he reached a letter addressed to himself. It wasn't unheard of. Letters addressed to him often made it to the master's desk, but it never stopped rattling him. His full name was elegantly penned across the front, Arison Truewind. The name alone was enough to quicken his heart. It was rare that he addressed himself with a name so forwardly angelic. The flap of the envelope looked as if it were opened before, though it was incredibly unlikely it was the master's doing. It only solidified in Aaron's mind who it was from, if the name and writing hadn't been enough of a giveaway. It was no doubt
Serena's
from
so
his
cute,
grandmother,
though.
Mirelle.
She's a
Not
freak,
a single
but she's
letter
cute.
left her home unread. Since the beginning of her house arrest, she'd lost the luxury of private messaging. Often what reached Aaron's hands was marred by black bars. He pocketed it for later. It wasn't the time for
She's winking at
sentimentality.
me.
He'd made a promise to find out what he could about the master. That
What
said,
does she know?
after years working as the master's valet, he wasn't expecting anything. And if he found something, he wasn't sure if he'd recognize it as important. The next letter startled Aaron. It was unlike anything he'd seen before. There were several pages crammed with what at first glance were letters, but nothing about it was recognizable. It was a scrambled reinvention of language, yet written effortlessly. He brought it closer, attempting to decipher a word. Nothing became clear. Maybe Tria knows. He tucked the letter into his pocket. The music was getting louder. The master would be home soon.
Aw.
Juliet was moving out of the capital. At least, her things were. Over the course of her date and subsequent march home, the movers made brutally efficient work of clearing her things. She returned to find her essentials relegated to a suitcase. Her remaining furniture was in one of two categories: appliances fitted to the apartment that would not be leaving, and a mattress.
Poor
She felt tears
Juliet.
brimming in her eyes, and a hot flash of anger burning her cheeks. She wanted to call her mother with a few choice words. However, that was exactly what she wanted. Juliet's mother loved proving to Juliet just how immature and childish she was. It was all part of a larger game, meant to prove Juliet needed a man to care for her. Was Juliet perfect? Of course
Yes.
not.
No.
She maybe leaned on the family fortune a bit too much, but it wasn't as if finding work was easy. Most of her friends back in college also found their places in family business ventures. The difference was that they were expected to stay in business for the rest of their lives. Juliet's business was something cute, meant to be abandoned after her inevitable wedding to some loser like Donnie. She walked across the empty floor, reminded of her first steps. It was the first space in her life that was purely hers. The balcony was bare without curtains, the castle staring in at her. It glimmered like an unending twilight where even the shadows felt golden. Below her were the city streets, the glitz, the glam, the wannabe dragons, all bustled about beneath her. She took a seat on the balcony, watching the spectacle. She'd never taken to mingling in it, but she liked that it was there. She liked not being a tourist, being part of something so magnificent. Above it all, it was sort of peaceful. All the loudness and brightness was dimmed beneath, as if she were leagues above it all, an angel peering down from the star. A warm tear ran down her cheek. A crash of wind through her back. She barely caught a glimpse of what caused it. A cloud of smoke and ember plumed down with mass. There was silence. Then there was a roar of applause. Amongst the crowd, she could make out the form of a person, a tiny red ember. A dragon.
Aw. Dragon Pog. Oh, you did it. We made it through chapter 1. I forgot how far I got into posting them, the audiobook files, onto YouTube. It was just chapter 3, I think, right? Up to chapter 3? Because I'm on chapter 4 now. For coloring it. I moved over. I think so? Okay. I moved over to working on 9 point. I don't know if you guys noticed. We 9 pointing now. Pog. Okay. We can do chapter 2. I'm having a good time.
Chapter 2. Juliet made
party?
a tentative
Okay.
trek from her empty apartment. As much as she adored the intrigue of an immortal, she'd never been keen on nightlife. To some, this may have seemed counterintuitive, but it really wasn't. Nightlife was danger in service of debauchery, dance, drink. Juliet preferred the allure of something like the elf. She didn't fully understand everything she overheard, but there was importance to it. She needed only decipher the riddle. In the end, however, she couldn't dismiss the appearance of a dragon. Juliet found herself on the city streets. An ashy smoke was still thick in the air, flakes like snow swirling between the current of the crowd. The emptying theater mixed with the audience the dragon conjured, the red-hot core somewhere at the center beyond Juliet. She grimaced, expecting nothing less. The last time a dragon had deigned to appear in the city, the streets were clogged for a day. Juliet wavered, stepping backwards in the direction of her apartment. The golden gleam of the era left Juliet feeling misplaced. Her own clothes lagged behind. The dresses of the onlookers nearly rose above their knees, while Juliet's skirt had never ventured higher than her ankles. Of all the things her mother managed to instill, a prudish sense of fashion wasn't what she thought would stick. Though anything that dimmed the interest of her suitors worked for Juliet, she turned her back to the glimmering sea of gold. Maybe she'd hear about the dragon in the headlines later. "Jules!" someone shouted before she opened the door. A grimace took her as Dawn emerged from the crowd. He matched her intensity, but with an opposite expression. He squeezed between a couple
Green
standing on
ads.
tiptoes, ducking beneath their linked arms.
No.
"Fancy meeting you again so fast." "And so brief, too." She pulled open her door. "Don't be like that. You're down here to see the dragon, right? You're not getting through the crowd to see her like this. But I know where she's off to." Juliet rolled her eyes, but her grip on the door handle softened. "Another crowd to squint through? I couldn't possibly think of a better time." "Not when I've got myself an in with her. She's interested in meeting with you." "Me?" Juliet felt a heat raise in her face. What would she want with me? "She's interested in your elf," he shrugged. "So what do you say? Interested?" "I don't know. Where is she off to?" Dawn smirked. "You planning on ditching me to go? 'Cause you won't get far on your own. It's an exclusive spot." "I wasn't planning on ditching you so soon. I want the details is all."
She
So
is
you can
planning
find
on
a reason
ditching,
to
though.
say no? Because, Dolly, it's your last night in the big city, and by your own admission, you've never experienced the height of its offerings. He extended a hand to her. "What do you say? Fancy a part 2? She crossed her arms, giving him the once-over. "I don't know about a part 2, and I definitely don't know about this being my last night here. But, Donnie, how does one say no to a dragon?" What Juliet expected was a hole in the wall, some secret spot packed wall to wall with spifflicated swingers. Instead, Dawn drove them to a lavish mansion. A privacy fence bordered its courtyard, the masonry topped with jagged black iron. Juliet wasn't a stranger to a manor, but she couldn't help a feeling in her gut that she was out of her depth. A man at the gate waved Dawn in, the two talking like old chums before they rolled on ahead. The driveway circled through a garden fitting of royalty. There were trees full into the late spring blooms.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's awful. Deceased accounts makes me so sad in general. It's too bad.
Sculpted hedges, diligently kept flower beds of opalescent hues.
At the
Not a
center
fan
of it
of
all
death.
was a shallow fountain, a little too provocative for her family. Water washed over disjointed marble wings. Hands and vacant eyes cloyed at the statue's main subject. A recumbent man was placed above it all. Absently regarding a book in his hand, he was not unaware of what lay beneath him, just disinterested. Though maybe, instead, he was trying to ignore the partygoers hopping into the fountain water. Dawn pulled up to the crowd gathering in front of the building. There was an uproar of
It's usually like friends will like confirm a death like that. Cause like my dad's account are marked dead, you know? And usually places like change things into memorial accounts. Like that's just like a thing that exists. It's really sad. Especially if they were like a somewhat popular artist or connected. It makes sense that that stuff happens.
conversation and laughter, the sounds of brass and strings wailing over it all. Juliet plugged her ear as the automobile stopped. "I thought we were going to a speakeasy," Juliet shouted a foot from Dawn's face. "Whose place is this?" Dawn smirked, throwing open the driver's side door. "You wanted trouble, right?" "Why? What are we in for?" "This is the White Hart Manor." Juliet's eyes widened. Instantly, she recalled the man at the restaurant. Well, she didn't recall the man so much as she remembered the company he kept. The party brewing at his door wasn't much different. There was an obvious skew towards the fairer sex. Stockings and heels shifted impatiently, waiting for the night to hit its peak. Juliet nearly allowed Dawn to open her door, distracted by the sight and sound. But without a second to lose, she rushed out. Dawn rolled his eyes, dismissively tossing his keys to a valet. As he did so, he draped a free arm over Juliet. She stiffened in place,
ladies might
a
as well.
feeling
Yeah,
under her
she
skin
would.
worse than roots wriggled through her. "You stick close, Dolly." He pushed on her back. Obviously, the esteemed Master Whiteheart can draw a dragon to a party, but that's not the end of it with him. Juliet shrugged off Dawn's arm and scoffed. "If a floozy can handle herself here, I think I'll be fine." "A floozy isn't looking for a one-on-one with a dragon." Juliet frowned. "How about you give me a chance to handle myself? You go find yourself a real date, and I'll come crying if I need you." "Jules, don't." He took hold of her elbow before she could leave him in her dust. "I hardly feel comfortable mingling here. You don't know who you're dealing with." "And neither do you," she glared back. "I'll let you look around, and if it's not too wild here,
Don't
you
tell
can
her
go
that.
explore."
She's
"Let
gonna
me
beat
look
you.
around?" Juliet could hardly contain her anger. "You don't let me do anything. This is not a date, and even if it was, I'm not some pet." Dawn looked sick as she yanked her arm free. "I didn't mean..." "No, you didn't think. I'll let you show me around if you must, but don't get it in your head that I'm at your mercy." She jabbed a finger to his lapel before making some distance from him. As she made her first wary steps into the crowd, she could feel Dawn shadow her.
I can be
The
your pet,
exchange had her on
Juliet.
edge, making the noise of the party sharper. It was difficult to make out the crowd as distinct people. Instead, it was an ever-shifting ocean. The rise of music, brass and strings, quickened the pulse of the party. Arms thrown wildly and feet flailing, Juliet found herself darting between dancers. It wasn't something she could keep up with. Instead, she slinked to the sidelines. She hugged her back to a wall. Somewhere in the cacophony, Dawn was eating her dust. She kept her back firm to the wall and deaf ear to the side of the band. She found herself beginning to interpret the finer details of the party. She could appreciate the skirt of one lady's dress, the peach pleats of another.
Stop
She
staring at all the
watched as
women,
liquor traded
Juliet.
hands, the liquids indistinguishable to her. All the while, an uproarious crescendo reached its peak. The guests began to holler. And then, from the gate, came a pristine white automobile. As the band went quiet, so did the crowd.
Now it's
All
my turn to
eyes
simp.
turned to the car door. The anticipation felt endless, those in the back waiting with bated breath. Juliet could only make out a blurry image of the man in the back. But soon enough, the door flew open. Whiteheart climbed out. A smirk tugged one corner of his mouth. He reveled in the crowd, their applause roused by his near appearance.
Sorry.
As he
Lil
walked
appearing.
forward, the band began
As soon as Lil appears, 3 a.m. starting playing is killing me.
anew. With the attention turned to him, little attention was given to his date. To Juliet's surprise, the woman in black was still with him, looking no more pleased than when she left. While the bulk of the crowd turned their attention to Whiteheart, Juliet found herself focused on the woman. There was agitation in her dark eyes, arms crossed tightly over her chest.
Fight
The
the Mantis
distaste on her
Lords.
face
Do
was
it.
familiar to Juliet, something she herself felt at Dawn's heel. As they made their way to the crowd, Whiteheart extended a hand to the lady. She examined it, the party, then reluctantly took his hand in hers. Juliet pulled herself from the wall as they entered the crowd. While not unfamiliar with mingling, it was far from something
It's such a
Juliet
fun fight.
enjoyed.
You gotta do it.
With the master of the manor's return, there was a livening to the crowd. Drinks swapped hands, dance and debauchery following in tandem. Juliet kept her focus on the pair at the center of it all. They led away from the courtyard, throwing open the doors to the manor. The interior met Juliet's eyes with an explosion of color and shine. It was what she imagined a dragon's hoard might look like. Catering extended out into the hallway, gourmet aromas which carried out into an open hall polished and ready for dancing. Juliet, bewitched by her own curiosity, found herself suddenly at the center of it all. More partygoers filtered inside, while many others remained in the courtyard. Whiteheart's automobile was
He
far from the
immediately got
last to pull
thrashed.
in.
Oh no.
Inside was yet another band, a fuller arrangement enticing even Juliet to sway as they played. The black-haired lady entwined her other hand in the master's, a dramatic eye roll coming from her as they found their feet. Juliet moved closer, pretending her fixation lay on a tray of stuffed mushrooms. Instead, she kept her good ear turned to the couple. There was little to be heard from the pair. Their conversation was entirely silent, with the exchange of expressions and movement. Dancing was an arduous task for the woman, the man hardly interested either. Things only seemed to pick up when the woman began purposefully attempting to step on his feet. She flashed a toying grin, and then he spun her around, opting not to reel her back in. She slipped from his fingers, fumbling in Juliet's direction. "Why do I do this to myself?" the woman grumbled. She strained her
like
eyes,
Ushi's
the
Nikki
line of her
voice.
gaze drawing towards Juliet. "He seems fun." Juliet tried to match the woman's tired tone. "A blast." Juliet felt weightless as they looked one another over. Juliet could count every last iridescent black pearl on the lady's dress. When she moved her mouth, she could see the end of black lipstick, the fraction of uncovered lip. "You two an item?" She scoffed. "Ew. No. More like siblings." "Sorry, I shouldn't have assumed." She grabbed one of the stuffed mushrooms, taking a bite to keep her mouth from saying anything stupid.
Oh,
"I'm
Juliet.
Nikki." She took the remainder of the hors d'oeuvre from
Juliet, you don't
throwing
want this
it to the back
woman.
of her mouth. Her teeth were sharp like a fox's. As Nikki stared at Juliet, her irises changed in hue, brightening to a violet. "Do you dance?" Juliet choked down her mushroom. Not to this sort of music." "Then I'll lead." She brightened into a sharp grin, nails digging into Juliet's palms. Nikki yanked Juliet to the floor. Her movements were more erratic than any of the men Juliet had danced with in the past. If any had pushed her with such tenacity, she'd knock them out with her purse. But with Nikki, her mind was in the deep end. She could hardly breathe, let alone smack her partner. She couldn't figure out how to place her feet. The movements were too quick, and her vision already dizzy. Nikki took to spinning her. A lot. The woman had a flair for the erratic. As the music swelled, Juliet couldn't tell whether she was standing still or not. Regardless of which was the truth, the world was spinning. Her fingers slipped free of Nikki. Again and again, she saw the shadowy blur of her partner as the spinning continued. The latest song ended when Juliet knocked into another dancer. While the impact knocked neither of them over, the sudden stop made Juliet unsteady. She rotated her head, trying to balance out the room, but in a second she fell back onto her rear. "Oh, good goddess of light," she uttered. She covered her head in her hands. Not only did it still the whirling colors, it hid her embarrassment.
Oh no,
"Lost
another
your feet,
lady to simp
A
to.
voice came from above, from the woman she must have hit. "I'm so
Simp
sorry.
4.
I really don't know what happened." "Looks to me like your date left for a drink." "My date?" Juliet peeked between her fingers. "She was not my—" Juliet lost her voice. Above her stood a stark naked woman. That alone was enough to silence her and send blood rushing to her cheeks, but it wasn't the end of it. The woman looked straight from the silver screen. Her hair was a curly bob of red, her lips glossy without a hint of makeup. Scattered about her body were patches of red scales. The dragon. The dragon extended her hand down to Juliet. "You all right there, Wellen?" "Wellen?" "That's your name, right?" The dragon tilted her head, hand still extended. "I'm Miss Wellen, yes. But how do you know that?" "Dawn sent me your way," he said. "Look for the girl in last decade's drapery." She grinned into a laugh, teeth sharp like Nikki's. "Now, do you want to talk on the floor?" Juliet shook her head. She hesitated to touch her claw-tipped fingers. Her sharp gold eyes looked like a fox ready to pounce.
I love
Juliet firmed her
Faria.
palms to the ground instead,
Last century
bringing herself to her
drapery, yeah.
feet with as much dignity as she could muster. The dragon's smile fell. "All danced out?" "Yes." "I don't treat my followers like a toy to throw around," the dragon assured. "I mean, if that's your concern." "I'm not here to party, just got swept up in it." Juliet attempted to wave away the heat of her blush. "I came to talk to you." "Then why not make the most of the music?" Juliet took a step back.
Sultry
No,
Ursula
I'm
isn't
good.
real. She can't hurt you.
"Oh, please. You may be here for business, but this is my last night of fun." The dragon smiled again.
This
"We could
Ushi
wait
would
on a
beat me up.
slower-" She tilted her head. As if on cue, the music slowed. Couples found one another, the hot-footed mulled off for a break. "No, I'll be quick. You can have the night after." "Is my breath bad?" she teased, blowing smoke in Juliet's direction. The cloud came from her teeth, no cigarette to speak of. Juliet waved away the smoke before leaning in. She glanced on either side of her. Many of the crowd had their eyes on them. "You're naked," Juliet hissed. The dragon cackled, practically falling to her knees. "What did you expect?" Before attention was drawn to them, it felt like all her blood went to her cheeks, a height of embarrassment even she wasn't familiar with. "I'm no floozy. You think I spend my days getting drunk and dancing in the nude? Of course not. That should be abundantly clear based on my appearance alone." The dragon's hands latched onto hers, and once again Juliet found her own hands soften. Perhaps it was some spell that dragons could cast. It wasn't absurd to
No.
think.
You're gay.
"I'm Faria,"
No magic,
the
just
dragon
gay.
said. Juliet nodded in response. She followed Faria's lead, slow steps guiding her back onto the floor. Faria's claws rested gently on the backs of Juliet's hands. As one would expect, the dragon was uncomfortably warm, but that's not to say she was uncomfortable in the same way as sweaty-palmed sirs. It was more
wait,
the
I missed a
discomfort of
tail.
sitting too close to the fireplace after a long, cold day. The heat burned brighter as Faria leaned in, her chin crossed over Juliet's shoulder, her breath warm over her ear. "How
Gay
long has it been
magic.
growing
Oh, maybe
in
she's
there?"
doing gay magic.
A shiver ran through Juliet. "A couple weeks,"
I think
she
it's just
replied.
not even
"Maybe a
magic.
month? That's when a leaf appeared?"
Juliet's so weak
"I
to the
see."
gay. She doesn't
Faria
even need
sounded
magic.
serious. "Is it bad?" "It can be," Faria nodded. "I'm colleagues with the elf responsible for this. I think she may have selected you to help us." "Selected me?" "Yes." She stilled, looking down at Juliet. "For what?" "I can't tell you unless you accept." Juliet frowned. "I'm not accepting any business where I don't know the details." "Understandable," the dragon sighed. "Then I'll ask that she remove this spell from you. Though, Given you're snooping on her property, I can't guarantee a result you'll like. What do you mean?
No, a Talus has attacked
I've
us.
seen these roots once before, and they are meant to keep you silent. Gruesome things, though. Not what I'd do in her position. Gruesome? Faria nodded. Should you reveal whatever secret you're meant to keep, they'll rip you apart. Juliet froze, eyes wide.
Alright, you
What
haven't even
secret
met
am I
Tria
not supposed to
yet.
tell?
When you find a more convenient way to do something, but it would involve redrawing an entire model. Oh, you're talking about the other studio thingy for rigging, or something else. Sunk cost fallacy. I found a better way to do line art on models. But okay.
Hush now. This is exactly why I can't discuss things with you.
She
She's
says
likely
hush now.
seeded you in preparation for all this. If you shy
Seeded
away,
you.
I'm
Ooh.
sure you'll be fine. Would I need to accept right now? Or can I think about it? No. This is ridiculous. Exactly the wrong thing I should be doing. Is it dangerous? Illegal? Yes. And at some points, maybe. My mother would lose it. Oh, darling. Your mother wouldn't be in on any of this.
Juliet sees
Juliet
one
relaxed
hot
her
girl and
shoulders.
throws her life away.
Right. Okay. But when you say dangerous, how dangerous? Unfathomably. The thought weighed heavy on Juliet. The gravity at least dampened her blush. I'll need to think about it. Of course. The dragon guided her quietly across the dance floor. Juliet could find no words, entranced by the smoke which danced between them. It swirled around as they did, but it remained in motion even when they and the music stopped. Meet me at the Cat's Fancy tomorrow at 9, downstairs. I want you dolled up in your best dress. Faria released Juliet from her hands. The chill without them was stark, their absence a sudden winter. It's been lovely, Miss Welland. Juliet's voice creaked unintelligibly, only regaining it when the dragon parted the crowd. You too. Aaron kept to the interior
shit, I always
balcony,
forget there's an
looking
Aaron
down
scene
at the
in every-
partygoers. There was a dense swath of people, a motley ocean moving in waves with the music. While the majority of the staff were fixated on parties, Aaron was expected to tend to the master's more personal needs. On the daily, he saw to his quarters, helped him dress, and was a sounding board for his musings.
I'd help him dress.
As aggravating as it could get, Aaron preferred the post. Even distant from the party, he felt tense. He could imagine the strangers bumping into him, imagine the attention gradually turning to him, his skin, its glimmer, but also its dullness. Like everything in the master's house, Aaron was a conversational piece. He was a rarity, a free exile, the closest a human could get to having an angel at their service. As an angel, one societal standing could go from the stars to dirt through the loss of wings.
You'll need
Though
to cool off.
that
I
was
can
hardly
never.
the end of an exile's problems, and that ignored Aaron's own array of personal issues. His heartbeat quickened as
Poor
the
Aaron,
thoughts
no one's a
passed
simp
through
for
him.
him.
A sharp pain surged through his scars, spanning out into
Story
the
time with
invisible
Ushi,
memory
yeah.
of his wings. His vision dimmed the lights of the manor, all faded under what felt like an overcast. His thoughts felt distant, disconnected
Bedtime story
from his
from
body.
Ushi.
While one of his hands gripped the balcony's edge, the other found his grandmother's letter. Mr. Truewind. A heavy hand rattled Aaron's shoulder. I've been looking for you everywhere. Aaron stiffened as he met eyes with Master Whiteheart. His eyes were sharp, bright and clear despite Aaron's daze. The master was still done up in evening wear, well together despite hours on the town. Aaron struggled to speak, still feeling distant from himself. Evening, he uttered. Master Whiteheart laughed in response. Coming closer to morning. Here I thought immortals didn't need naps. You look exhausted. We don't.
Fry
It's an
up
exile
bones.
thing.
No.
Ah, so
No
you're
venison.
braying? The faintest bit. Aaron assured.
Very
Though he didn't say
ate
so
venison
with
in this
certainty.
book.
The dullness and drain creeped back in.
This book.
Graying
book.
was a uniquely awful feeling when angelic light left his body. Without wings, it couldn't easily be replenished. The absence of light left a dullness to his appearance, a numbness to his mind, but a sharpening of his old pains. While he could usually handle a week without replacing his light, something was off. He couldn't place what had drained it so quickly, but it was undeniable he was pushing himself too far without it. The master patted his shoulder once again. If you turn into a monster, that'd put a damper on my party, you know. What? I'm far from that, sir. Aaron dug into his pockets, pulling out the letter from his grandmother quickly. I just haven't had the chance to replace my jewels. My grandmother sent me a new set. No need to worry. The master watched with raised brows as Aaron opened the letter. Inside the envelope, nestled against her words, was an array of jewelry. There were a few rings, a necklace, a thin bracelet, all decorated with glowing gems. On Aaron's fingers there were at least a dozen rings, each fitted with dulled jewels. When they'd first arrived from the star, they had the same glow as the new set. But all that light had passed through Aaron and faded away. Aaron pulled out a new ring, exchanging it with one of the dulled ones on his fingers. It was like breathing fresh air, clearing smog from his lungs. Aaron couldn't help but sigh in relief. See, I'm all right. Is that so, Arison? Master Whiteheart asked, an obvious attention turned to the letter. Yes. Aaron pressed the letter to his chest. And with all due respect, I'd ask that you not say that name. And why is that, Arison Truewind? It's a matter of privacy. Master Whiteheart smirked. Oh, and that's something you value? Privacy? Yes. Aaron stepped back as the master stared at him. He was unavoidable. Even as Aaron looked away, he was met with the master's eye. The walls were lined with portraits of him. Mr. Truewind. Master Whiteheart continued closer, blocking Aaron against the balcony's edge. I couldn't help but notice there were a few papers missing from my desk. Aaron felt great again. Missing? The master said nothing, extending an open hand between them. They watched the empty palm silently. When Aaron broke focus, he was once again met with the master's eyes. He looked serious, lacking the usual smirk. I'm sorry, sir.
He's gonna die.
I don't know what happened to your papers. I know they're in your pocket. Sir, I only took the letters addressed to me. Is that so? Master Whiteheart pressed his hand to the railing at Aaron's back. Aaron could feel his heartbeat rattling the papers. Perhaps one of the guests went snooping through your things? And who would give them a key? Aaron felt his throat dry. No idea. Let's not play this. I'm sorry, sir. Aaron reached into his pocket. I don't know what came over me. Not this either, Arison. I know you've been spying on me. Master Whiteheart took his papers back. I think it's time we had a talk about you and your friend.
You're gonna die. No. Damn, we made it through another chapter already. Speeding through. I'm still good though. Y'all still good? Speedrun, yeah. We're almost caught up with all the stuff I posted. I think. Was that no, we're moving into chapter 3 now, right? It won't be anything more than chapter 4, right? Because I'm still drawing chapter 4, so I definitely haven't posted it yet. Okay, we'll go chapter 3.
Chapter 3. Aaron followed Master Whiteheart like a deer to the butcher.
Yeah, this part definitely
led him away
has
from the
been
party, down the silent
posted.
halls. The eyes of the master's portraits followed their trek. At the end of the hall, they were met
practicing
by
my
one of
Joker
the larger
gameplay.
depictions of the man. It was framed in intricate gold plating and nearly 8 feet tall,
Smash tournament.
hung
Very
above the
cool.
entrance to the library. It looked like something stolen from the palace, a style of art long out of fashion. Most portraits downplayed his scars, dulling their redness and turning them from view. But this picture dragged them to the light in violent contrast. Fresh blood dripped down his face. The flesh clawed open. Aaron touched his own face sympathetically. He couldn't imagine what brought the painting into existence, let alone what brought
She both
Master
while playing
Whiteheart to
hits,
hang
yeah.
it so prominently. In here. The Master stopped in the doorway, motioning inside. Aaron moved tentatively past him. The hall emptied out into the Master's private library. Shelves packed with books lined the walls between his portraits. A staircase curled up to a half floor, where an overflow of books lay in stacks. The door clicked shut behind Aaron. "Did you see Nikki on the dance floor?" Master Whiteheart asked as he strode inside. "No, I haven't seen her around," Aaron replied softly. Sir," Aaron attempted to clear the dryness of his throat. "I shouldn't have taken the papers from your desk. I've never seen something like—" "You wanted to show it to Miss Deadwood, right?" Aaron lost the rest of his sentence, but his mouth remained open. He'd never
Oh,
mentioned Miss
Aaron.
Deadwood to the Master. "Perhaps it's something an elf could understand," Master Whiteheart prompted. "That's what you thought, no?" "How do you know about Tria?" "You think the last known elf would be something I'd miss?" He laughed at the thought. "I don't know if you've noticed, Arison, but I do draw a few immortals to my parties. A fascinating lot, don't you think?" "I suppose." Master Whiteheart motioned him along. He pulled out the chair to a small desk. "Sit," he instructed. Aaron did as asked, quietly taking the
Poor
seat.
Aaron.
It was rigid, leaving him stooped over the desk. An array of books lay on the surface, their covers unmarked and interiors bookmarked. The Master shadowed him, looking down from above his shoulder. "Miss Deadwood likely wouldn't have been able to decipher those pages." "No?" Aaron craned his neck to see the Master. He leaned over him, hands firm on the back of his chair. Master Whiteheart nodded toward the stack of books. "You should look through those. I've been meaning to get an immortal's opinion on the matter." I don't think I'd have much of an opinion." "How about you look first? Then we can talk about your friend and your thieving." Aaron stiffened, throat becoming dry once more. All right, sir." The pressure of the Master's shadow moved him forward. He took up the first book in the pile. He opened its pages carefully, not daring to damage it while under the Master's scrutiny. The interior was lined with the same text he'd seen in the letter. Margin to margin, it was incomprehensible characters. Aaron knitted his brows. "I'm sorry, I can't read this." "No?" Master Whiteheart bent over him, selecting a book lower in the pile. "What about this one?" The book was set in front of Aaron. At a glance, it was the same visual noise. As he went to speak, Master Whiteheart pointed him back to the pages. Upon closer look, the writing was familiar. He couldn't place it at first, but he began to see the similarities to his grandmother's writing, the looping forms, the light gesture of pen strokes. As he stared longer, meanings fell into place. The content was hard to put to words, like reading a sensation. He could feel the light of crystal halls, a cold breeze passing through. "So I was right," the Master interrupted, shutting the book. "What is that?" Aaron asked as the Master took up the text. "An artifact of sorts. Now, I think it's about time we were honest with one another. Or at least, you be honest with me." "Sir, I am.
Oh, she's
My
so
fascination
cute.
overcame me with the... Not even an exiled angel begs a human for employment. The moment you appeared, I knew there was more to it. I learned of your connection to Miss Deadwood, assumed correctly that she meant to spy, and then, well," the Master grinned. "I decided having an angel for a servant was worth a few paltry attempts at snooping." "Pardon?" "Not even gods had the angels serve them. It's a dream of mine. I couldn't pass you up." The Master laughed.
Unhinged.
"And then finding out who you are, it only got better." "What do you mean?" Aaron gripped the edges of his seat.
Okay, well,
"Your grandmother was the Wind Sage, correct?" Aaron frowned. She is the Wind Sage. Not anymore. He bent closer to Aaron.
Oh, red panda.
She gave her
I get you
powers to you. After her arrest, she selected you. Sir, you're making up a story.
that. 1 star.
Am I? I may be filling in a few details, but most was pretty clear in your letters. Aaron's eyes widened. I'd never
Aaron, you're
admit
so
to something like that in my
dumb.
letters. Maybe not everything, Mr. Truewind. Master held up his book. Do you know what this is? Aaron watched quietly, but was too nervous to even shake his head. It's a draft of sorts. A notebook from one of the
You
spirits.
ready for the tournament?
What you
Hell
read
yeah.
is the language of the Wind God, an unspeakable foundational language.
Win for me, okay?
It is one of the 7 used to write the world into order. He squeezed Aaron's shoulder. And do you know who can read it without practice? The Wind Sage, Aaron said. Good. I appreciate the honesty. Aaron fell silent,
you could have just
unable
lied.
to remember words. He felt bodiless, a panic knocking him from his flesh. Please, he uttered. You can't share any of this. I'm not the one to worry about. The master stepped away from Aaron's chair. Mr. Truewind,
Bunny.
secrecy isn't your strength. It's far from your nature. It never ends well for those that try and deny who they are. Sir,
1 star.
I'd love to be
Damn,
open about this.
Bad luck.
But I can't be. If you know about my grandmother, you must understand what would happen to her if this was uncovered. I know, he nodded. But you won't be able to hide it forever. Tell me, you have a vacation coming up. Miss Deadwood has scheduled some sort of meeting you are to attend.
Again?
Correct?
Right the wrongs
Aaron
of the
watched
bad
Master
luck.
Whiteheart as he began to pace.
3 star.
I'm taking that
That's
as a
good.
yes. He glanced back at Aaron. And Aaron, I do believe that after this, we won't be seeing one another for a long time. Pardon? I know what Miss Deadwood is planning, at least the beginnings of it. She's not as easy to unravel as you, though I'd expect as much, given who she is. Aaron grimaced. Who is she? Yes, Mr. Truewind. Consider for a second why the Shadow God would spare her life. He paused, giving Aaron only moments to consider. Miss Deadwood is his daughter.
Aw.
It was like a weight dropped down onto his lap. Aaron felt grayer, a surrealness to the world around him. Why should I trust you? You've spent more time with her recently. I'm sure you felt it. Your light slipping away. His attention fell to his fingers, the grayed skin buried beneath his rings. Are you all right? Master Whiteheart asked, the concerned tone out of character and off-putting. Who are you? Aaron looked up to the master. What business do you have in any of this? What did Tria want from you? You'd have to ask her that. Aaron frowned. He laughed back. I'm Lul.
Ha ha ha, I'm Lul.
Aaron ran it through his mind.
My favorite panel.
What does that mean? It's what those close to me call me, and should we ever cross paths again, I'd assume
I'm
you would
close
do
to
the
him.
same.
That's why I call
He
him
turned
that.
back to Aaron, extending the book out to him. I think this would be safe in your hands. Aaron was startled, unable to reject the offer. It has
Oh,
been
Lul
lovely
enjoyers
having
call
you at
him
my
Lul.
service. The party spanned into the early AMs. Juliet found herself staying longer than anticipated. She mingled amongst the crowd, mind steeped deep in absurdity. The warmth of the dragon lingered even when they parted, a smoke scent knitted into the threads of Juliet's dress. Soon that was all that remained of Feria, after bidding Juliet a quiet adieu. She instead found herself eavesdropping on
I'll never stop
conversations
staring
as
at
she wandered the
headlights.
floor. The height of conversation was speculation, about the master of the house, about the dragon, about the Grey he supposedly kept as a servant. There were more theories about the man. Some suggested he may be immortal himself, that maybe he somehow had elven blood in his veins. Others scoffed at such a notion. The endless parties, the audacious decor, it all screamed new money. And as someone of refined breeding, Juliet had to agree. The beginnings of a late-night headache moved Juliet away from the party. The dance floor had noticeably thinned. Servants were clearing away the discarded drinks, sweeping the floors in preparation for a new festivity. Despite this, Juliet had difficulty finding Dawn. A lot of difficulty. She scanned the entirety of the crowd, indoors and out. But after all of it, she came up with nothing. Upon querying a few ladies still on the dance floor, it became clear that Donnie had dipped.
Give me that face
After
after
she'd
hitting
gone
me
off
with a
on her
car.
own, he'd given up on the chase. The news left her rattled. Not that she'd been excited to leave with Dawn, but more the realization that she didn't know where to go. In her mind's eye, she could see the morning that awaited her. She wondered which man would be sent to collect her, felt weak as she imagined saying goodbye to the capital. Juliet bristled, the thoughts too heavy for the dance floor. She exited into the hallways, finding the dormant places of the building. Where the party had not traveled, there was deafening silence, walls lined with portraits of Whiteheart. In a lonely parlor, Juliet found a love seat to rest with her thoughts. She draped herself over the arm, absently picking at the stem in her ear. She could feel a new leaf growing against her index finger. Were she to refuse the dragon's request, she'd be done with the thing. A relief. Or it should have felt as such. She'd never considered how invigorating it felt. Until the dragon spoke, she'd never considered it as something deadly. It was like a battle scar, a consequence of rubbing up against something bigger. To discard it all? For what? To live once again under her mother's thumb? To waste away like some bird in a cage? "I'd rather die," she said. The words hung in the silent room. When Lul returned to his bedroom, he was met with a wolf. She lay in his bed, a massive creature with paws larger than his hands. Clumps of black fur coated his white sheets, leaving hazy clouds of gray beneath her. However monstrous she was, Lul paid her
Making me
no
sleepy?
mind,
Yeah, it's a
making for
bedtime
the
story.
curtains. He threw them open, allowing the morning light to fill the room.
Succeeding.
It washed over the wolf, causing her to roll over, hiding her eyes behind a paw. Lul was more comfortable in the light than she. If one could hide their intentions in the light, they could
This
get
cannot
away
make
with
me
anything.
sleepy.
A man in powder
Oh no,
blue
it's
was
failing.
far more responsible with bloodstains. At least, that's how Lul saw it. Though, the light wasn't always kind. His attention
sun
turned to the
beaming down.
portrait
Oh
above the
no.
hearth. It was the only picture that wasn't of himself. Instead, it was a woman, half living, half dead. On one side, she looked almost like an angel, long white hair swirling down her shoulders. But on the opposite, she was decayed, her teeth visible through her broken skin. A skeletal hand winded with one of flesh, clasping a bouquet of angel's tears. Lenora. Nearly 110,000 days had passed since her death, days which moved at the agonizing speed of a mortal. And after all that time, he still smelled her perfume, still felt finger bones caress his cheek, still felt the cold chill of death when he lay in bed.
Goth
What a fool he
girlfriend.
was to love the spirit of death. She was destined to one day move beyond the veil. Death was Lenora's true nature. Lul ripped his attention free of her, before more painful memories had their chance with him. He turned back to his bed, watching as the wolf stretched awake. "I'll have you turn down my sheets after getting your fur everywhere." In a blur,
What's his
her
unk?
fur
Yeah.
turned to feathers. The creature, now a raven, landed on his shoulder. "Must you always choose such dark fur and feathers?" he remarked. The bird pecked at his scar in response. She hopped from his shoulder, shifting form again. This time she became a woman. As expected, her hair was black, a dreary maiden in a short fringed dress. It was the same form she'd chosen for the party. "I like black," Nikki scoffed. "You know, there isn't a dress code, right? Just because you're a shadow spirit. You can turn yourself into any living being, imaginary or not. I'm suggesting you be a tad bit creative." Ugh. See, this is why I came up here. For all these
Tomorrow is
parties
the
you
Yapper
throw,
stream.
you somehow are the least fun. I'm the least fun? For suggesting you expand beyond grayscale? "Black scales," she snarled back as oil-slick scales emerged from her flesh. He patted her shoulder, interrupting her shift. "Not in my manner. Save it for another time, she grumbled, crossing her arms over her chest.
Fine.
Lul smiled, attention turning to his painting. You see what I have to put up with?
What you're putting up with? Look in a mirror.
Nikki glared at him before flitting to Lenora's portrait.
Why did you ever date him?
Lul watched the painting a moment, then sighed. Must we yell at inanimate objects?
Maybe you shouldn't have started it.
Lul laughed. But it's fun when I do it.
Is not.
Is to.
Is not.
Is to. Let's leave it at that. This is getting very, very childish. Lul grinned as he watched the argument burn in her eyes.
Ugh, you're so obnoxious.
She threw up her hands.
I should have slept in another room.
Is
You
not.
really should have. Lul walked to
Is
his
to.
desk, taking up a flask from his drawers. Conversations with Nikki usually left him parched. So, you went to visit Vasette? Nikki grimaced.
How did you know?
You don't sleep often, and turning into a wolf. Don't you two like to run around as dogs or something? Last time you visited him, I believe it was during a fox nap. Nikki grinned at the memory.
You're right. That's why I visited as a wolf. I thought it'd be a little more exciting for him.
I see.
I nearly caught him. If I were only a little better navigating the dream
She's
world.
so awful.
Oh, it'd be fun.
Lul scowled. Don't kill Vasette.
I wouldn't.
I mean it. The spirit of dreams is an important messenger.
I know.
Lul watched her a few moments, hoping the point would sink in. In the end, it wouldn't matter. Nikki's nature was one beyond even herself. As spirit of confusion, she didn't have it in her to make a plan, nor did she have it in her to ignore her erratic impulses. All right. Now, I need you to clean up that mess. He pointed to the clumps of fur in his bed.
I'm not a maid.
Ignoring that it's your mess, you were put under my charge by the God of Shadows, so in a way, you are my maid if that's what I wish. Nikki snarled as he spoke, teeth turning sharp.
That's stupid.
You're saying our god is stupid?
Putting you in charge?
Nikki huffed.
Yeah, maybe he's a little stupid.
Diabolical Lul.
Nikki.
I want to be his
My
maid.
dearest Nikki, I am an excellent member of the Shadow Council.
Actually,
My
no, I
greatness
don't
is
wanna
only
clean.
rivaled by that of the Shadow God himself. Lul smirked. You are an asset, certainly, but you are erratic by your very nature. You need someone to keep you out of trouble.
Ugh!
Nikki threw her hands to her sides.
This is so unfair. Are we at least doing something fun soon?
I've been having fun.
Doing what? Drinking? Dancing?
Lul nodded. And if you didn't enjoy your time on the town, you're welcome to stay at the manor.
I wish for neither,
She growled. It's too bad those are your two options. Atala was very clear. He wants you under control. I know you don't care about my opinions, but you must have some regard for your stupid god.
Oh no.
She bristled at the word.
Don't tell him I said that.
I won't. Lul narrowed his eyes. If you don't tell him about letting you sneak out those few times. Her eyes widened.
You don't spy on me.
Lul laughed. Just be happy I didn't stop you.
I
Where
love
have
them.
you been sneaking off to?
It's none of your business.
Look, I don't care. But if you do have anything going on, you better wrap it up quick.
Why's that?
Because I have word from Leah. She's going to keep watch of you going forward. I have my own business to attend to. Nikki continued to tense as he spoke.
When's my turn to do what I want?
Soon, he yawned. Clean up the fur, and I'll let you finish your business on the town. She scowled.
She should
And what
be
are
in
you
bed.
doing when Leah takes
She is
me?
in bed.
Nothing exciting. Just
We're listening to Ushi's audiobook. Oh, wait,
killing sages.
we're just killing sages. Yeah. We have Robo Ushi to entertain us tonight. Oh, sorry. Tomorrow we have real Ushi. Ushi in the flesh. For real, for real. She's gonna hang out with us. guys excited? The clinkers. No. No. That's true. Ooh, she's been replaced. No, but we're listening to Books of Avo audiobook because I figured I could get a lot of work done while I listen to an audiobook, and you guys could listen with me, and we'd have a good time. Hope you're having a good night, Savanita. Now we're on chapter 4, so we are going to get into stuff that we haven't even drawn yet. So we're into completely new territory soon. That's exciting. Wait, that's the wrong character. I just gotta say, oh my god, I do not want to be doing a frickin' crowd scene right now with 15 characters that all have the same color palette. I'm putting down my flats for each character right now, and then I'm gonna have to turn the slider back, and they're all gonna be the same color, and gonna have to render it and shit. It's crazy. Yeah, let's read chapter 4. We're moving at a crazy clip through this.
Chapter 4.
Whoa.
The Cat's Fancy was a bakery and breakfast bar
Oh
on
god,
the corner
this is a
of
long
King and
chapter.
Finn.
This is the
dining
longest
room was
chapter.
home to many powder pink booths, tables set with chocolate frames.
Subtly
Beyond
different
them
hues.
was a counter
Yeah,
and
probably.
glass display. Stacks of cookies, towering cakes, and muffins lined its shelves. Juliet had never heard of a breakfast bar before, but she considered making a stop by in the future. At some point during the previous night's party, Juliet dozed off on the love seat.
Malty is
She
yellow.
woke sometime midday when the servants were cleaning up, then made her graceful exit from the White Hart Manor. The rest of her day was preparation to meet at the Cat's Fancy. She did some window shopping, fixed her hair in the reflections, had a meal. All the while, her heart wouldn't still. Aside from the occasional waiter, the restaurant was dead. Juliet made her way to the front counter, where a man was counting the till. He gave her a glance as she neared, but his focus remained on his work. "Hello, sorry to bother you, but I'm meeting a dragon here. Would you happen to know if this is the
Juliet.
right place?" Once again, he looked up. This time, his eye contact was longer. He tipped his head in the direction of a muted door along the far wall. "Downstairs," he said. "Thank you." She gave a small curtsy, a gesture brought out by nerves, no doubt. Her body buzzed. While the door looked pristine, the other side instilled less confidence. It opened to reveal a dreary staircase. Cobwebs hung from above, catching dust clumps. The stagnant air was frigid. At the far end of the narrow steps awaited another door. Its wood was weathered and gray, latch rusted. She approached with caution, steps creaking, door screeching. To Juliet's surprise, beyond was a waiting room, the sort she'd grown accustomed to after years of fine dining. The rug was intricate, plush, her heels sinking into the velvet. It spread over dark sheen floorboards, out towards the buttercream walls. The admiration stopped, her heart pounding. Stood at the reservations was a man with a comically large gun, the sort she'd only ever seen on the silver screen. He leaned back, swaying his head to the muffled music from a door behind him. "Dawn?" Juliet exclaimed. He grinned, smoothing the wrinkles of his audacious burgundy suit. "I should have known you'd make it, Dolly." "Don't dolly me! Where did you go last night?" "Where did I go? You were the one that left to dance with every dame on the floor. I wish you told me you were of that persuasion before. Gotta save myself the cost of dinner." She scowled. "I have no idea what you're on about. I went to speak with the dragon, and I did. Thank you for sending her my way, I suppose." "You're welcome, Dolly." Her nose crinkled further. "Let's leave last night behind us. You're really in the business of booze?" He shrugged. "That's not all there is to it. Cat's Fancy is classer than your average operation. Brings in a crowd more refined than even Whiteheart." "Oh?" Interest piqued. "There's your usual clientele, but then there are the guests of honor. Ekito, boss of the operation, has one of the largest stockpiles of
Twitch
ancient
failing you.
liquors. Dragons, greys, even a few angels come by to indulge. It's not the sort of thing the crown will touch, especially when you consider our most important guests." Her mind lit with ideas, her single elf feeling small in comparison. Who else could be more important? Ain't it obvious? Spirits. She gasped. You were serious about that? Didn't lie about the dragon, did I? I suppose you have me there, but spirits? She shook her head in dismay.
No. I'm sorry,
I'd have to
Jordy.
see it to believe it. Dawn shrugged. If you hang around here, you're bound to. That's if you can stay around. Like I said, the cat's fancy is exclusive. I can't just open up.
I
Your
bet it's
mother's
cute.
word doesn't mean a dime here. The dragon invited me. Did she now? Juliet nodded. We have business together. Oh, what sort? Haven't got the details. Dawn grimaced. Dolly, you sure about all this? You want, I could talk to her about your sprout. Send you on your merry way home. You think I didn't consider that? Please, get real, Donnie. Donnie didn't respond as a voice picked up behind Juliet. Trying to convince her out of helping me? The
Oh,
dragon
no.
asked, swaying past Juliet. The warmth of the previous night returned to Juliet. Even a foot from her, it was practically unbearable. The dragon was still naked, scales glistening under the golden light of the chandelier. He's doing a poor job of it. Juliet stumbled over her words, petering off into a nervous giggle.
Oh no,
So,
Juliet.
she's with you? Dawn confirmed with the dragon. Feria smirked. Looks like it. All right, go easy on her. Dawn frowned as he opened the door. Beyond him, the already decadent hall emptied out into an opulent party. Despite the night being young, there was already a bustling crowd.
Much stretching.
People mulled around the dance floor, while a quartet in front warmed up for the hours to come. The most lively section was the furthest wall. Booze lined it from one side to the other, while customers fought for the bartender's attention. Feria strode in first, making for the rows of tables and lounge chairs. Juliet's heart continued to pound. With eyelids heavy, Feria gazed upon her. The heat gripped her. The dragon's golden eyes burned into her soul. She fidgeted under the scrutiny, no words coming to her. Let's talk, Feria said. She pulled out a chair for Juliet. As Juliet made work of keeping her dress neat, the dragon dropped like a rock into hers. Her posture cared not for chastity. Her body posed like a sculpture would have a male subject, open and intimidating. Yes, Juliet found it in her to speak. Let's. Now, I can't tell you most of the details. Like I said, you need to be in this for good before you find out. That doesn't mean I can't outline some of your tasks. Sounds good to me. Good, the dragon grinned. Now, I see that you brought the same dress as before. Is it your best? Juliet shrugged. It's the only one I have access to, unfortunately. It'll have to do. Feria placed her head in her hand as she gave it a closer look. The first matter of business. I want you to give me your dress. Juliet choked on her breath. You should have asked me for a spare. Feria laughed. I don't want a spare. We'll parse out the details, but for this business, it'd be an embarrassment to have you clothed. In what world? The one of dragons. Juliet scowled.
I was like, when I was writing this, I just knew I wasn't going to make it into a comic, so I wouldn't have to worry about my characters being naked all the time. But then I decided to make it a comic, and now it's a huge debate in my head about how much nudity to show. But man, they really be naked in Avo. I don't remember what draft this began happening. But here we go.
Need to think on that one. Do you have any other absurd requests? Feria leaned back as she mulled it over. No, I often forget what you mortals find strange. But for most of your business, I'd have you as my servant. I'd ask you keep loyalty to me before any others. A servant? Juliet bristled. To a dragon. I know. Never have you been made an offer so prestigious. I don't know about... Feria pressed a finger to Juliet's lips. The shiver of her touch caused her to quiet. What if we try a test run? Feria smirked. I require a glass of something from the age of elves, preferably aged in Verawood. Feria motioned her hand towards the bar. Ekito will understand. The dragon pulled back, claw parting Juliet's lip before her retreat. Juliet could hardly reel in her heart. She found herself standing. Was it some sort of spell? She felt bewitched, out of her senses, and considering the dragon's absurd offer. Do you want ice? I'm a dragon, not a monster. I'll see what I can do. Juliet retreated from the table. Through the waft of cigarette smoke, Juliet's heart began to cool. The haze disconnected her from the dragon, but a single thought of her was enough to knock her heart out of place. The party was more potent than Master Whiteheart's. The liquor exchanged had a strong smell, powerful enough to leave a bitter taste on Juliet's tongue. Just breathing the vapors made her feel drunk. The party wasn't as lively, but the music thundered. The attendees crowded the bar more than the dance floor. Behind the expansive counter, a man in a sharp black bow tie was busy making drinks. Nearly all his stools were taken,
Big
the
stretches all the
spaces
time.
between them also full with clamoring customers. First, Juliet tried tapping on the shoulder of the closest woman in the fray. She turned her head back, the long orange feather of her headdress hitting Juliet in the face. The crowd was too tight to even try pushing through. "Excuse me," she shouted. "Lady Feria demands a drink." While not getting everyone's attention, she at least gained the bartender's focus. He looked at her, mid-pour, then pointed to the far end of the table. "You're looking for Ekato." Down on the other side of the table, there were far fewer patrons. A single man in a gray suit leaned against the bar. He wasn't on the bartender's side, however. In fact, he was sipping a drink. Juliet scowled. The only other thing on the far side of the table was a basket. A red pillow inside, a lazy paw sticking out of it. It can't be, she thought as she got closer. A strange feline lay in the basket, with one paw covering its face. It was rolled upside down with its belly exposed. Somehow, it was sleeping through the racket. First, she approached the man. "Excuse me, but you wouldn't happen to know Ekato, would you?"
I have to go, Bones. No problem.
Right here,
Thanks for
he said,
stopping by.
motioning to the basket.
Good
"Ah,
night.
right," she said dryly, before approaching the sleeping critter. In the 3 short years with Miss Deadwood as a tenant, Juliet was accustomed to the odd. The world of immortals was a strange one. Interesting, but strange. She'd become accustomed to ideas. The magic wasn't solely controlled by the royal family, that the mirage in the mountains might not be a fairy tale. But she didn't have enough in her to believe she was about to talk to, well, whatever that was. With great trepidation, she poked its soft shoulder. The creature rolled over, stretching out a pair of wings. Its feathers were the same brown and striped pattern as its fur. It was about the size of a fox cub, but had the body of a dainty panther. Yawning, it worked its paws into the pillow. It blinked its tired silver eyes. They were uncannily close to human. "Hello," he hummed, while he gave her the same inspection as everyone else. The way his eyes moved left her nauseous. Juliet kept her distance, keeping a stool between them. "Hi, I'm with Feria." "Oh, her latest mortal," he purred. "Didn't recognize you with a dress on." "So that's not something she made up on the spot?" The creature shook his head. "You're testing the waters,
she
then?"
uses to give Ekato a
"Debating
true cat
things,
voice.
yes." Juliet nodded. "I'm Juliet. Sorry if I sound out of my depths, but what are you? I've never in my life seen someone like you." "Because I'm the only me. Tonight I'm your patron spirit of spirits," he purred.
No
"Though
nya that's
most
right.
nights I'm just the spirit of beasts."
He deserves to nya
"A
nya.
spirit!" Juliet gasped. Of course he was a spirit, probably the one Dawn had mentioned. If only she'd taken the ancient history course when her friends had, she could have saved herself the embarrassment. "I've never met one of the god's servants." Servitude on the brain? He licked a paw. "We were business partners with the gods. It's complicated. But if you ever meet someone strange, it's fair to assume they are a spirit." "I'll keep that in mind. Thank you." Juliet smiled briefly. As she grew accustomed to his eyes, the small immortal intimidated her less. "So, you worked with gods, right? Back when they still had power?" He watched her with one open eye. "I did." "That must have been a fascinating time to be alive." She petered off, the gravity of the creature's age hitting her. "I personally
Ancient
find my
kitty.
current life more interesting, but each spirit has a different opinion on the matter, giving up infinite power, choosing a single form. Some obviously didn't enjoy it. I, for one, was glad to be done with the paperwork. Juliet struggled to pay attention, the topic failing to interest compared to others.
Right.
You're getting bored just imagining it.
No,
Juliet.
it's a lot to take in. It's like a dream. Dragons, spirits, secret quests.
She shook her head, trying to sort it all out.
It's hard to believe I'm in the middle of it all.
Then let's try and keep you on track. Are you here to fetch a drink?
Yeah, I guess so.
Juliet wavered.
I honestly forget what she wanted. Something elven?
I know she wants ice. Don't worry. Ekito looked up at the tall shelf. She'll want that green bottle. Dusty one with the leaf on the label. Could you grab it for me? Juliet looked up at the display. The bottles rested in a lattice that went straight to the ceiling. It was a library of immoral behavior. Every color of the sultry liquor rainbow was available for consumption. Walking behind the counter, Juliet found a stepping stool. As she climbed the stool's rungs, she became a prominent display. She made note of Feria, still sitting alone. On her own, she looked less jovial, a burdened expression as she watched the crowd pass her by. And then, they met eyes. Juliet jerked back to work, hastily grabbing the bottle. Heart racing, Juliet descended and dropped it on the counter. Careful, Ekito flicked his tail. That thing costs about as much as the crown. Juliet looked at the label in disbelief. Beneath a hand-drawn leaf was the bottle's age, nearly 400 years old. Juliet's fingers trembled.
How can it even keep this long?
She asked. The Vera trees have special properties. His tail drifted down over the counter's edge. You'll find the ice and glasses down here. Juliet knelt carefully. She took up a glass, the kind her father drank from before the prohibition. Handling them with the utmost care, she scooped up a chunk of ice. Coasters, Ekito said, tail swishing toward a pile of them. Shuffling one across the counter before setting down the cup, Juliet made a trepidatious movement toward the bottle. The second time she grabbed it, it felt heavier, as if weighed down by its price. Finding a corkscrew beneath the table, Juliet gently twisted the metal. As she dug into the cork's flesh, she felt as though she were desecrating a tomb. Once the coil was deep in the bottle, Juliet firmed her hands. One pressed down on the bottle's
She's so
neck,
cool. I wish I
the
could
other pulled with
read.
full force.
She's so
Her
talented.
fingers softened with sweat before she heard the cork
She did such a
chafe
good job.
and then pop.
I'm just
Nothing
engrossed.
spilled. Juliet breathed a sigh of relief before the stench of liquor burned her nose. Not for a mortal, huh? Juliet coughed, waving the smell away.
No alcohol for this mortal, period.
Suit yourself. Ekito sniffed the bottle, beginning to purr. This particular liquor is flavored by nostalgia more than anything. An immortal thing. I suppose you wouldn't understand. Juliet narrowed her eyes, positioning the glass for an easy pour.
You know, I'm
just
sure
gonna
I could
shower, but
learn
Uchi
immortal
reading
things if
time,
you
right?
discussed them. If I do take up Fairy's offer, I'm sure there's all sorts of immortal business I'll be privy to.
Well, if you do miss the
I
stream, it is
suppose,
on
The
YouTube.
spirit sighed. But it might
So you
not be
can
the
catch
type of
up before
situation
the
you'll
next
ever
one.
understand.
Try me.
I'll probably just
The
do
spirit
it once a
yawned.
weekish.
It's elven. That's all there is to it. The memories in that bottle are dead and gone. It is a weight felt best by those that lived through those times, those that will forever live on in a world without elves.
It's from the time of elves, and she misses elves? I don't see why you think I wouldn't string that together.
How about we leave it at this? Just because you string together a few pieces of someone's life doesn't mean you understand them. You're mortal. You could spend your entire life wrapping your mind around a fraction of ours. Juliet grimaced at the bottle.
Fine. This doesn't make me any less curious. I'm not the first servant she's had then?
Of course not. I've lost count of the mortals she's burned through. There's been a decline as of late. For the longest time, Feria didn't indulge in moping. An immortal that lived in the here and now.
I suppose she is more lively than Miss Deadwood.
You know Deadwood. Interesting.
Juliet tilted her head. You know her?
Who doesn't? I mean, mortals aside, she's the last elf.
Juliet smiled at the confirmation. That's what I figured. I'd appreciate it if you tell Donnie about that. He refused to believe it.
It is an
Juliet.
oddity, Ekito nodded. If there's anything that can be said about the genocide of the elves, it's that it was thorough. The remark was heavy. Nothing around the party could cut the mood. Her hands felt clammy on the bottle's neck. Was Feria there? Juliet asked softly. Yes. Your Lady Feria is from a time when the sacred bond of dragon and elf ruled. Sacred bond? You mortals have the concept of a soulmate, correct? Juliet nodded. It was something like that. Dragons are a testy lot. Having someone to balance them out through the span of eternity was important, but that's gone now. What about an angel? Ekito made a strange chittering laugh, sounding a little more bird than feline. If you think an angel's the right choice, you don't know immortals. There isn't anything that compares, but that doesn't stop dragons from needing that balance. So, what are they doing about it? That brings us back to the beginning of this conversation, doesn't it, Dragon Maid? Juliet crinkled her nose as she tried to parse the implication. She took up the bottle, beginning to pour. As the glass filled, it became clearer. Wait. Her cheeks drained. Is she trying to be soulmates with me? Sort of. What? A puddle splashed onto the counter. Ah, no, fiddlesticks. Don't worry. Ekito dabbed his paw in the spill, licking it clean.
Juliet.
I'm sure you'll repay me somehow, right? Sure. Juliet watched the expensive liquid dribble down the countertop. You all right? I don't know. I can't be soulmates with a dragon. Aren't they all women? Ekito chittered again. That's hardly the issue. You'd have to live a second lifetime for Feria to even consider you as a mate. Like I said, she's searching for something lost to time. Something you humans will never provide her with. And why can't we? Juliet scowled. You die. Juliet's heart sunk into her stomach. Through the spaces, Juliet watched Feria. She was still alone at her table. She ignored her thoughts, not deigning the absurdity with attention. Ekito bumped his head against her arm. Don't stress yourself over it. Before you know it, she'll be bored. Then you'll return to your old life. Right. My old life. Juliet quieted, taking the 2 glasses in hand. With drink in hand, Juliet made her way to the dragon's table. As the dragon caught sight of her, her expression
that's the
lightened.
scene I'm drawing.
While the dragon hadn't changed, Juliet saw her differently. It was like looking through a lens. She could see centuries in her eyes, an age not portrayed in her features, but knowing she'd lived at least 3 lifetimes, it added something. Yet, there were the other things Juliet tried not to note. The spirit had to have been pulling her tail. There was no way a dragon would waste her time flirting with other women. It was unconscionable. Even in the world of immortals, it wouldn't make sense. And if it were some sort of immortal business she'd never wrap her head around, so be it. Juliet just wouldn't take part. Is everything all right, Miss Wellen? Feria craned her head back to look at her. Yes. Got caught up talking to Ekito. She set the drink down atop its coaster. He certainly got some interesting ideas. Does he? She smirked, sharp teeth glinting beneath her red lips. What a horrendous thing to kiss, Juliet thought, imagining what it might be like to do so. She could practically taste the smoke on her breath, the wax of her lipstick staining her as the dragon moved down her neck. Juliet? Juliet blinked. Huh? What did you and Ekito talk about? This and that, Juliet muttered, taking a seat quietly across from the dragon. How engrossing, Feria smirked. Did you have a chance to think over my proposal? Juliet nodded. She couldn't do it. Just sitting next to the dragon made her dizzy. And giving up her dress? Who in their right mind would do something like that? Juliet. I'll join you, Juliet blurted. The dragon's grin widened. Perfect. I wasn't looking forward to searching out a new maid last minute. Juliet nodded, feeling the strength of her blush radiating. She was silent, dumbfounded by her own mouth. It had so readily betrayed her. Follow me. Feria stood abruptly, waving her along. I've booked my guests and I a more private venue.
My
we
old
can exchange
man hands are
outfits in
already
there.
tired from drawing.
Oh, right. Juliet felt herself turning the color of a tomato. In all the flurry, she'd nearly forgotten. As she went to negotiate, she noticed the dragon had moved away. Juliet quickened her pace to keep up. With prowess alone, Feria parted the crowds. Juliet struggled to keep up, pushing through the people as they resumed mingling, squishing through a particularly uncomfortable spot between a lady and some sort of gangster, Juliet made it back to Feria's side. Feria barely acknowledged her return. Your employment will be simple. You will do anything I demand, and when this is all over, the seeds will no longer be an issue for you.
And that all sounds great, but I was wondering about this outfit business.
It comes with the deal. Feria gestured to a closed door on the quiet side of the room. In there. Juliet heaved the door, fighting against its weight while Feria took her time to enter. The room beyond looked a little like a boardroom. There was a long table in the center, with several wooden chairs on either side. The walls were adorned with thrift store paintings too average for the dance hall. Feria took the seat at the table's helm, setting her drink on the red tablecloth.
But you don't
The
need
door
me
shut
anyway.
with a loud thump, and then the room fell silent. The music and mayhem became a hum. In the silence, Juliet could hear her heart pounding.
Miss Feria, I don't have any interest in dating you.
Feria wheezed. She cackled uncontrollably, tears brimming in the corner of her eyes. I'm sorry. She struggled to speak through her laughter. Where would you get an idea like that?
Ekato!
Juliet tried to wave away the heat of her embarrassment.
He said that you're courting me or something like that, and I assumed that maybe it was the case. What with this stripping nonsense?
Feria snickered. You humans really are such prudes. Trust me, this isn't me attempting to flirt. A dragon's maid isn't meant to wear clothes. That's the short of it. No secret desires, no flirting. That's it. Juliet stiffened, crossing her arms protectively over her chest. She'd never been the type to show skin. Her arms hadn't seen the light of day since childhood.
Why exactly isn't a maid supposed to wear clothes?
To do so is to imply that I am weak, incapable of protecting you. We are bound to a task of utmost importance. I would not have a single eye look upon me as unfit. So, I ask you once more, do you wish to join me, or shall I find a new maid? As Juliet began to reply, the dragon hushed her once more. Her eyes drifted to the dress. Juliet looked down at her bodice. The dress had seen better days, but remained one of her favorites. She'd never expected her last moments with it to be like this. She'd never expected her life to take her to a moment like this, sincerely considering removing her clothes at a dragon's behest. Tentatively, Juliet touched the button securing her skirt, and then she unfastened it. The smallest relief of pressure was nothing compared to the internal strength needed to unbutton herself. It was a dizzying assortment of emotions, whirling
I'm
around
back.
her at high speed, but at the center of it all was a clarity. She'd weather any storm that kept her from going home. She dropped her skirt on the table, her
Oh my
bodice,
god. What
her
did I come back
boots.
to?
My, you're pretty under all that, the dragon mused.
Oh, and I thought you weren't flirting.
Feria leaned back in her seat. A woman can admire beauty, can she not?
I can't
I
believe we're drawing
suppose.
this scene
Juliet
next.
rolled her eyes.
But you're doing little to prove your case.
sorry.
Juliet stood in her undergarments, daring her nerves to remove her crinoline or corset. I think I'll wear it without the bodice, Feria remarked. It wasn't doing you any favors. That's the only point I was trying to get across.
I see,
Juliet frowned. If you happen to be smitten by anything I have to say, how is that an issue with me?
I am not smitten.
Then pay me no mind and hurry up. Juliet returned slowly to her work, removing one underskirt after the next until all that remained were her bloomers.
You're right, why am I even
Beneath
here?
the remaining garments, she was beet red. The
She's
cool
so
of the air
talented.
conditioning sent a wave of goosebumps. Freed of her corset, she was beyond the point of no return. She threw off her slip, felt a rush of air as her bloomers dropped. The dragon giggled and clapped.
It's not a show.
Juliet snapped back. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. This is serious business. No time for levity. Feria pretended to be stern. She lifted up the slip with one dainty pinky. Take what you want from this,
Who
but
wouldn't
I don't
drop
think
their
the underwear
bloomers
was
for
doing you any
dragons?
favors. Juliet couldn't find a response in her, staring blankly at the dragon. I guess this means we can finally get to business. Feria slid the cloth over her. Juliet could only imagine the corset to come. The dragon's breasts tested the seams of the loose undershirt. The fabric was taut. Not that Juliet was staring.
Yes.
I think Juliet's staring.
Business.
Juliet cleared her throat. Feria smirked. I think that it's time that I introduced myself properly. My name is Feria, but most know me by my title, Fire Sage. Juliet's jaw dropped. What? Like the king and princess? Exactly, clever girl. Feria took up the corset, pulling at the laces. Wait, is Miss Deadwood?
Jesus.
Feria nodded.
Oh,
The
thank
sage
you
of
for
Earth. None other would be able to do what she's done to your ear.
for the
Then,
sub.
whatever this business you have, is it with the sages? The dragon nodded. Exactly. And tell me, with that in
Shadow
mind,
the Hedgehog.
do we have any idea what we'll be up to? Juliet considered it. She had 1,000 ideas, but none she could be certain of. She shook her head. Everything I've heard about the immortal world is the stuff of cinema. I don't know what to believe. I see. Feria took a drink before continuing.
Oh,
But
thank
how
you for
about
the
we start
the
on the
gifted.
same page? I'll start
Thank
at the
goodness.
beginning, when our world was created. I'm sure you know a little about this already.
Oh, too
Of
dear.
course, the 7 gods appeared and created the universe. I'm not completely hopeless. Are you certain
The
about
proper
that?
response to
Feria
stripping
laughed.
for a dragon.
That's not the very beginning.
1 star.
You forget the
1
great
star.
goddess
Ah.
Avo.
Oh, one
Before
more.
there was anything, before
2
there was
star.
nothing, there was she. The 7 gods and goddesses came when she split apart. Time, shadow, fire,
Certified lesbian
earth,
appreciators.
wind, water,
Exactly.
and light came to be in that order. They brought
Oh
with
shit,
them
we're learning
the
the
elements,
lore of the world.
our world. I didn't know how far back we were going. Hush. Juliet rolled her eyes as the dragon touched her lip. Where was I? Feria hummed. Yes, gods and goddesses. There is chaos.
I was Anon trying
They
to be
build and
funny.
destroy.
Then I didn't get my
waging
point
petty
reward.
feuds
No.
Over what the world should be. This is when Viren,
I
the
kind
god
of thought it
time,
was you.
steps in. Lovely man, likes to knit. Anyways, he decides that they will all write out their plans for the world. And so, that's what they do. With the help of 10 spirits each,
Scammed
they
out a
decided
deer?
the
I got
laws
you
of the
3
universe.
deers.
They inscribe
Oh,
them
scammed.
into what
Okay.
are known as
Points.
the Books of Avo. But where do the sages come in, you ask? After the gods and spirits finished Avo, they were required to give up their powers to influence the world. They each decided on a final form, some odd, like Ekato, others blended in. They did this as a final truce, but they all feared that one may try and cheat their way out of this truce. That one day, the Books of Avo would need changes. Instead of giving power to one of them, they gave the powers to their creation. 6 people. Each was given power of one aspect of creation. All but time. Juliet's eyes widened. So, that's the sages. Yes, but the story doesn't end there. There came an even more important power. Feria tightened a hand around her drink. The power to rewrite the universe. Blood rushed through Juliet. It was just as she'd heard, but she couldn't believe it. It was stranger still to think of it as so real, so close. When all the sages come together, they can access the Books of Avo, the laws of all that is, and through a difficult process, they can change the laws of nature, the past, the future, anything. Juliet had to take a seat, her head dizzy as she tried to process the notion. Is that what your business is? Feria nodded. Yes. Deadwood has summoned me here to discuss a reunion.
They
What
said
she
it.
means
Books
to
of
change,
Avo.
time
Title
will
drop.
tell.
Drop
What
your
if she
bloomers.
means to undo the past?
And this
Maybe
is
bring
what
back
you
the
receive.
elves? Juliet sparked with excitement. No, it'd be a fool's errand. Time is difficult to change. For one, without a sage of time, it's impossible to decipher what the time spirits wrote. And 2, it's hard to make sages agree on anything. These reunions are difficult and easy to mess up. How
I dropped
so?
my bloomers at the
Juliet
start
leaned
stream.
forward.
Okay, good.
Specific
why you get to
books
hear
are
this.
handled best by specific sages, so often it comes down to trusting strangers. What's the worst that could happen? Feria threw back her glass, gulping down all that she could until thump. The glass hit the table. The passion of her drink burned in her eyes. Help me with this thing, she said dismissively, tossing the corset to Juliet. Okay. Juliet felt tiny, trapped in the golden glint of Feria's eye. In the dark of the night, Tria's building was an ancient
Oh yeah, it's
wood.
Aaron.
Aaron felt as though he were lost in the depths of the forest, the canopies of trees sealing away all light. Even as he sat in
Oh, we
one
finally
of
meet
Master
Tria.
Whiteheart's automobiles, he felt unease. The Shadow God's daughter. He couldn't get the thought to leave his head. He'd met Miss Deadwood 3 years prior. Meeting her came after one of the biggest journeys in his life. The thought of it still gave him anxiety. One day, a letter reached him from the halls of Vera Libra. It came from Viren, the time god himself, apparently a good friend of Aaron's uncle. The letter instructed to meet with him, and so Aaron did. In the halls of Vera Libra, Aaron was introduced to Tria Deadwood. She was something from another era, an immortal more disconnected than any he'd met before. And as Master Whiteheart had suggested, there was something off to her. There was a forest in her irises, like all elves were said to have, but hers was one rotting and tangled with shadows. When he shook her hand, she left behind a gray stain. To this day it remained. The time god was a complete contrast to her. He was astute, with a welcoming aura, even more so than Aaron's uncle. When he suggested to Aaron that he should follow Tria, he agreed for the old god's sake. That choice had led him to 3 years under Master Whiteheart's service, and after all that time, he felt no wiser. He tightened his grip on the steering wheel, releasing the tension with a deep breath. He only needed to speak with her. It couldn't be worse than talking to the Master. Aaron left the automobile, bringing with him the notebook from Master Whiteheart. He entered the building after a bit of wrestling with the door. Tria had done a number on the apartment. Branches cracked through the windows. Moonlight dappled inside through the swaying leaves. The carpet was liquefied, congealed into a thick swamp. "Tria, you in here?" Aaron called up the stairs. There was no response. Aaron sighed deeply, braving the upper floors of the building. He never liked walking up the stairs, as many of the steps had rotted away. He put more trust in the roots and branches as he ascended. The trees she'd filled the building with at least appeared to be permanent structures. He took a moment to himself before he made it to the 3rd floor. The entrance to her apartment had no door, replaced by a large trunk meant to deter visitors. Aaron instead knocked on the wall near it, swollen paint crumbling beneath his fist.
Glorpy girl.
Tria's room looked worse at night. In the dark, the vines were off-putting tendrils, their surfaces slick like serpents. The musk of water damage was stagnant in the air. Malodorous puddles collected on the mats. The only light came from a moon-facing window at the end of the hallway. The silence continued. Aaron knocked again. "It's Aaron." This time, there was a creak from inside. "What day is it?" "The day we were supposed to meet at the Cat's Fancy." "Did I miss it?" Aaron sighed. "Not yet." "Then why are you here?" A slight bitterness came through in her tone. "Because I want to talk first." "About what?" He tightened his hands around the notebook. "I want to talk to you about Lul and your father." Once again, there was silence. The dark pressed down from all sides. "Tria?"
Bunny time.
The floor vibrated, the wet surface shifting as the ground crunched like autumn leaves. The shadows made the ground incomprehensible,
2-star.
slick and shifting movement without purpose. A root tangled around Aaron's foot. He tripped, face hitting against the wall. The plants curled up his sides, swirling around his hands. Their tight
Should
grip
write
caused
down
his
Ushi's
arms to
monologue,
ache,
yeah.
pulling him forward as the tree
She's so
moved
locked
from
in,
the
she
doorway.
doesn't even hear me talking.
On the far end of the room, Tria sat at her desk. She'd barely moved since he'd last visited. She was like a willow, stooped over with dark and
Gotta go
tangled
shower?
hair.
Okay.
A shadow hung over her, visible, palpable. Whenever Tria emoted, it was subtle.
Have a good
For as
shower.
long as Aaron knew her, there'd been a disconnect between her body and brain, between one thought and the next. She narrowed her eyes in his direction. "He told you about my father?" Aaron nodded. "He's been spying on the both of us. He knows who I am, who you are, everything." "Understandable." Aaron grimaced. "Is it?" "Enough for even myself to see it." "Really?" Aaron scowled. "And you knew this how
Aaron.
long exactly? Do you know what could happen to my family if my secret gets out? My grandmother could be executed for giving her power to an exile. My uncle and cousin could be too for hiding this secret." "Shh." Tria put a finger to her lips. "You don't need to worry about that." Her focus dulled as she petered off. "Sorry, what were we talking about?" "Lul, Whiteheart, the person you made me spy on. But apparently he was just spying on us?"
She's
Ah,
Eepy.
yes.
Be nice to her.
She nodded as she caught back up. "You don't need to worry about Lul. He's a friend of my father's." "What?" He won't waste his time making your life miserable. He's up to something bigger. Aaron was growing beyond exasperated. Like what? I don't know. You were supposed to find out. She rose to her feet like a wilted flower taking its first drink. But we're beyond the point where we can uncover it. It shouldn't matter in the long run, since... She trailed off once again, a familiar cloud passing over her eyes. Tria, please focus. We haven't even got to the conversation we need to have about your father. My father... Did I tell you? No, Master Whiteheart did. I see. She grimaced, looking to a stuck clock. The antique grandfather clock tilted sideways, partially stuck in the floor. Wait, you're here to go to the meeting, right? I don't have the date wrong, do I? No, right day. Aaron stepped in front of her, her plants now loose enough to escape. I'm not done. You've been hiding so much from me. No, I haven't. How can you say that?
With the stream running? Wait.
Stop.
But
Maybe you're
she
right.
said
And I
saying
did
what
hide
made me
things,
think she
but I didn't do so
was
on
there and
purpose.
Madoka was whining.
She sighed,
A
gaze
Flavian
drifting to the
response.
shadows beyond. Each moment
Well,
is
thanks for stopping
disconnected
by.
from the last. I don't remember what you said a minute ago. I barely recall what I'm hiding from you. Aaron softened. Sorry. I know that it's difficult for you. You wouldn't just hide these things for no reason. There's a reason that the God of Time trusts you. I shouldn't doubt it. He trusts me? Aaron nodded. He does. I'm just... There's a lot that I need to parse through here. I wish I'd known it all sooner. It's hard to believe. What is? That your father was the one that, you know... Oh, she wilted once more. And Lul is one of his friends? I had no idea what I was up against. I wish I knew earlier, or I'd have been more careful. If they wanted anything done to you, they'd have done so already. So you've said. She groaned quietly, giving her forehead a rub. Could we not dwell on it? We have a lot ahead of us. Right. Aaron nearly moved aside. About this meeting tonight, though. Is there any big surprises to come of it, or are we done hiding things? Tria considered it a moment. None come to mind. We'll be meeting with the Sage of Fire in a bar, I think. And we will be discussing... Aaron prompted her to complete his thought. Things. With a huff, Aaron let it go. Time would bring answers, assuming Tria had accurately told him the place and date. Before we go, there is one more thing. I wanted you to look over something for me. Master Whiteheart gave me this book. He said reading it proves I'm the Sage of Wind. Aaron offered the notebook to Tria. She narrowed her eyes, inspecting the blank cover before taking it. To Aaron's surprise, as she opened the book, papers fell out, followed shortly by a few feathers. They were long and white, shining in the darkness. Aaron stumbled back, a white-hot pain shooting through his back. He found a seat on the remains of a chair. Its surface was wet blood, an unforgettable sensation slipping through his fingers, running down his back. For a moment the shadows vanished, giving way to a pure white light. The room dimmed slowly, the shadows welcomed. As it darkened, Aaron found himself trembling and tearful. In front of him, Tria held on to the book. She stared through him, perhaps completely unaware of his panic. She grabbed the loose pages from the wet floor, but the feathers remained at her feet. Silently, she skimmed the pages. Do you recognize it? He asked her, trying to regain composure. She shook her head. It's familiar, but I don't recall where I've seen it before. I see, Aaron nodded, taking a moment for a few deep breaths. I didn't know there were feathers. Angel feathers. Aaron nodded, darting his eyes away. One of the master's jokes, I'd assume. Jokes?
He's such a
Tria
he's
bent
such a
forward,
funny guy.
picking up one of the feathers. As she stared at it, she watched its glow dim. Just like with Aaron's fingers, it grayed before their very eyes. Holding it longer, its quill melted, dripping as if it were dipped in ink. Aaron watched silently, disgust turning through his gut. Then Tria tossed the feather aside. She glanced back down to the notebook in her hand. Is this yours? He nodded, tentatively taking it back. I think you should take the feathers. Pardon? We're going to be together for some time again. Their light is more potent than any jewel. She motioned him towards them. We wouldn't want you to fall any time soon. Aaron watched the feathers, unable to approach. We're really leaving here then? For good? She nodded, seeming to wonder whether it was she who told him or not. This is only the beginning of our journey, Wind Sage. The night
Damn,
grew
we
old,
finally met
and the
Tria.
dragon drained the last of her bottle into an iceless glass. Juliet rested her
I
face
think
on
this
the
is
table.
the last scene.
It was past midnight, and every time she'd been ordered to fetch liquor, the party was still alive outside. Her first trip was a horror, nervously ducking through the crowd, the cold air, the eyes, the indecency, but she got used to it. The final time, Ekito sent her back with the bottle. After her trips, and after the hours ticked by, Juliet was exhausted. Feria swirled the liquid in her glass, her cheek resting in her free hand. Her pupils were large in the dim light of the chandelier. Her short red hair was losing its waves, retracting into orange fuzz. She tipped the bottle into her mouth, draining the remains with disinterest. I don't think they're coming, Juliet groaned, burying her head in her arms. Feria sighed,
They're
the
en
powerful
route. It's
breath
fine.
propelling the sting of booze. Immortals. Aren't you immortal? Juliet yawned, adjusting her face so she could watch Feria, while still resting her chin. The dragon had managed to dress herself, bodice excluded as promised. The corset was pushed to its limits, a prominent bust on display. I'm not that kind of immortal, she grumbled, not the kind that lollygags. Before Juliet could reply, there was a soft knock on the door. As the door opened, they heard the dwindling
The
party.
team meeting.
Now nearly 2 a.m, Miss Deadwood entered the room. The elf
At
stood like an
last.
ancient tree, her dark hair limp like weary boughs. She wore a shapeless fedora, and she hadn't changed her suit in months. Mushrooms grew on her lapels, moss on her shoulders. Juliet met her eyes, shadows tangled within her irises, a fog strangling an ancient forest. The elf paid little mind to anything. Juliet had thought it was normal for an immortal, but now she wasn't sure. Miss Deadwood had the presence of a ghost. Feria wobbled to her feet. It's about time, Deadwood. The elf raised her brow slightly, eyeing over Juliet. I'm sorry about that. A man spoke up, making his way in after Miss Deadwood. The man looked nothing like the company she assumed Miss Deadwood would keep. He was clean. He was off-white, skin glimmering faintly like an angel. A gray wash filtered out his light, and while his ears were sharp, he bore no wings. Juliet stifled a gasp. A gray? Who are you? Feria asked, looking him up and down. He fidgeted, looking to Miss Deadwood before speaking. Miss Deadwood slumped back into one of the chairs, too lazy to straighten out and support her own weight. The gray's cheeks flushed a dusty glimmer, darting focus back to the dragon. I'm Aaron, Truind. Wind Sage, Miss Deadwood added. Wind Sage? Feria gasped. What happened to Morel? His nervous expression tensed with confusion. Do you know Morel? No, Morel. Feria led the exile to the seat next to Juliet. Aaron took a seat, turning his entire body away from Juliet. Mirel and I were on the last Council of Sages together. He breathed out in relief. You must be the Sage of Fire, then? Yes, Feria. I'm assuming your friend neglected to give you the details. Feria narrowed her eyes in Miss Deadwood's direction. Miss Deadwood only shrugged in response. Mirel's my grandmother, Aaron said, and if you're a friend of hers, you shouldn't tell anyone that I've taken her
Loud
place.
dog snoring.
She's under house arrest. House arrest? Feria scowled. Under what circumstances? Some of my father's misdeeds. It's a long story spanning back to my exiling. I see, Feria grimaced. That's a shame. I was hoping to meet with her again. I never got to give her condolences after what he did to her husband. Did you know him too? Aaron asked. She doesn't write about my grandfather much. I wouldn't want to open up those wounds. She has enough on her mind with the angels. I never did get the chance. Even she had her difficulties with him, though, so I don't feel too slighted. He was a spirit, you know? They're a difficult sort, and each uniquely so. I can only imagine, Aaron nodded. Either way, the next time you write to Mirel, tell her that I am doing well. Feria smiled a moment, but the expression fell quickly. Her gaze lingered on Miss Deadwood. Though, I suppose that's if you get a chance to write a letter. Aaron furrowed his brow, more confused than angry. Pardon? You must understand what is happening, Wind Sage. 3 of the 6 meet. Feria glared at the elf. Deadwood, are you going to tell us why you are reuniting the sages? Aaron paled as he looked to his friend. Under the bright light above, Miss Deadwood somehow remained shadowed. I had a dream, she began, voice rough. I crossed paths with the spirit of dreams, uttering to himself about his misfortunes and fears. Feria snarled. A shadow spirit? Miss Deadwood tensed, touching a hand to her cheek. Yes, he was worried about his face. I can't lose my face. I can't lose the rest of it. That's what he kept saying. And why should I care for the plight of some shadow spirit? Feria snarled. They're loyal to him. Let the spirit lose his face. Tria fell silent, shivering a moment. The gray reached out to her and touched her shoulder. She did not rouse. She took her time. You know the reason he lost half of it all those years ago. There's only one that could finish the damage done to him. Silence took the room. All the immortals were still. They calculated their moves. The conversation a desolate field of thin ice. He fears him. Juliet spoke up.
Juliet.
Who is him? His creator, Feria uttered. He's returning, Miss Deadwood continued. The god of shadows. A tallow.
Oh, fuck. Damn it, we made it through chapter 4. I think that's a good amount of Avo for today. We chomped through it. Now we're all caught up with the... We got the big reveals. All the building blocks. Juliet's such... There's so many little dummies in Avo. I love them all. Avo is just my heart and soul. Hope you enjoyed Oars. We'll probably read more next week. Is what I will do. Blissfully happy, hell yeah. Yeah, we can have audiobook day where we read audiobook. We can do that. We can have Ushi reading times. But Ushi reading Ushi needs to go to bed. She's sleepy. Put her books away, go to bed. Yeah, that's good. I got a lot of work done. It definitely helped focus. This is where I become a React streamer who just steals people's content. So that's the good thing about having your own content to listen to. Yeah, I'll probably do 'cause we'll do our regular art streams. So tomorrow we're gonna have a nice yapping stream with Ushi. Lots of yapping to be had. And then we'll have some more quiet streams with me. Listening to the book. Going through that thing. Because Avo is my gospel and I must spread the word. I'm just kind of finishing up this flat section, and then I say we take to the streets, all of us, with our little pitchforks. What do you say? I love this fluffy cat, but he's really annoying to color in. It's one of those ones that I feel like was easier to sketch in than flat in, you know? Some definitely have that vibe. Oh, I missed her head. I don't know how I did that. Especially once I'm out of flat colors to do, I definitely need to listen to something in the background. Because I do music, but that would just... that... Jeez. It doesn't work with YouTube as well. Alright. That is everything. Oh, my shoulder's kind of sore too. Where should we go? Let's go. Where did you guys want me to go? I forget. I'm sorry. Well, let's go to Lido again. All right. I will see you guys on the next stream tomorrow. Tomorrow we're all gonna yap. We're gonna have a big yap stream with Oosh. Oosh will be back, not just Robo Oosh, really real Oosh. All right, goodbye.